What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the Author Divan podcast. I'm your host. I'm slightly muscular, more than last time, so that's awesome, but I'm still not beautiful. We're going to work on that. Gotta get my eyebrows done or something. So today I have a very kind, soulful, and intelligent young gentleman, only 20 years old, in the United States Navy, Dcarius Brooks. I'm so pumped to share this recording with you, and also to listen to it myself, because I have to definitely have to run this one back. He said a lot of things that made me really think, and I was very humbled by his upbringing, the things that he's been taught, the lessons he learned at such a young age. So it's always great to talk to somebody who grew up across the United States for me. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right in.
Are you thinking about making a podcast? Spotify has a platform that lets you make one, and if I can figure it out, you definitely can too. You can create your own content all in one place for free with zero hangups and even earn money as soon as you get started. Spotify lets you record and edit episodes from your phone or computer so you can go mobile, just like I enjoy to do. My favorite thing about it is that you can create video episodes if you wish and upload them to wherever podcasts are heard. You can even set up subscriptions, or if you're like me, listener support options for listeners to help you grow. I 10 out of 10 recommend the Spotify for Podcasters app. Or, why don't you just step over to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started on your own podcast.
Okay. Hey, man. So thanks for coming on. Really excited to do this. I know that our relationship began in the military. Every single branch goes about their time and they risk their life in different ways. Even the Coast Guard.
Yes.
I know you saw that viral video of that guy jumping on the submarine, the drug cartel submarine.
Oh, yeah.
He slung his rifle and jumped on the submarine and was banging on it with his fist, like, "Open the fucking gatch now!"
Yeah.
And everybody has their own life or death situations. In the Navy, it's very different.
Mm-hmm.
We got a lot of things going on the flight deck.
Yeah.
And I saw someone get blown off into the nets that catch people.
I mean, I hear even that it's like the most dangerous place to work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's I would say definitely, in my opinion, top 10 inherently dangerous things to do is the military, because if you're not injured,
mm-hmm.
in a firefight or something like that, you're definitely going to suffer later on in life with your knee pain.
Or tendinitis in the ear.
Yeah. Something's going to be jacked
up.
What led to you doing this very honorable, amazing, and interesting thing of volunteering your life, if need be, and also your servitude to this country?
I'll say, first off, thank you for having me and letting me share.
Absolutely, brother.
I'd say two things. Number one, a lack of knowledge. I've always had a dream of playing pro ball, and my senior season was a bust. I didn't think I had any other options. I thought my only way out was either, go to prep school and find a way to get a scholarship. I thought that was the only way to make it out, find a scholarship, find a way to get into school, and then just go from there. And then, my second reason was I've always had, a futuristic mindset of setting myself up for the future. So I knew the reason why I had that lack of knowledge and why I couldn't take the route that I wanted to was because money was a issue growing up.
Absolutely,
so
man.
I figured that if I, knocked that stone out and set myself up financially, that gave me the leverage to pursue any avenue that I wanted.
Totally. Well, you definitely had it figured out. What was it like the first time? Tell me a little bit about your experience, boot camp, and how you went all about that.
I know a lot of people, they have a little bit more of a culture shock, or scared or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
My dad did 20 years in the Army, so
boy.
I had a different expectation. It was more so like, what the heck is this? Everybody, you run into people, they're like, "Oh, did you kill someone?" I'm like, "No, man, if you were there, you would understand how stupid the question is that you just asked me." So it was it was more so just it wasn't exactly what I expected it to be. It wasn't necessarily bad. I just learned early on in the military, don't have certain expectations for it, because all your decisions you make are just solely based on what you get out of the military.
Hell yeah, absolutely. And that's really interesting that you bring that up. Did you kill somebody? it's not an exciting thing to take life, and I'm saying this from
Yeah.
personal experience, man. There's nothing exciting about possibly having nightmares
Yeah.
or harming another human
Yeah.
to the point where their life is no longer here. You're not just hurting that person.
Yeah.
If they deserved it, then they deserved it, and I don't believe that death is off the table
Mm-hmm.
for people who deserve to have it
Yeah.
brought to them. Retribution is important, but along with that, you come with having a grieving mother,
Yeah.
a father who's not going to
Yeah.
see his son bear another child. There's a lot of things that go into it,
Yeah.
and it's not as great as people would like to. Hollywood does a shit
Yeah.
job of painting this picture of oh you killed his ass, and
Yeah.
hip hop industry
Yeah.
they brag about, oh man, I killed this guy
Yeah.
and I'm so excited about.
Yeah.
Are you fucking stupid? You took somebody's child
Yeah.
from them. There's a lot of situations that can be resolved without violence,
Yeah.
but I believe people say violence isn't an answer. You're right. You shouldn't respond to something with violence,
Yeah.
but it is a solution to some problems.
Yeah.
So I'm for it, but I'm against it at the same time. And
Yeah.
it's really irritating to hear people ask me that question. Well, did you kill anybody in the Navy?
Yeah,
Like, are you fucking retarded,
Why
man?
would you even want to know?
I don't
that?
mean retarded,
Yeah.
retarded as in people who
Yeah.
are mentally handicapped, of course.
Yeah, just
But,
like the question you asked.
The question you ask, it shows me you must be insane.
Yeah.
You're out of
Yeah.
touch, motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah, even with like music that you touched on, you can tell the difference in like a real artist
Mhm.
and who's, sharing his experience and telling his story of what he had to go through, and an artist who's just literally just talking about something just to get clout and stuff like that. So
I really struggle with that because
yeah.
the new genres
Oh,
of
man.
hip hop, it's not there is no, I don't feel like there's purpose behind it. Just like I would say gangs in this day and age, they're completely not a good idea. There's no reason to have gangs right now at all. We back when it originated. But yeah, man, the hip hop industry, they paint a weird picture about things, and I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing to express yourself at all. I'm not.
Yeah.
I believe in the First Amendment. You say what the fuck you want to
Yeah.
say, and no one should tell you what not to say. But I do disagree personally with the moral compass of some of these people. They don't understand that it's very serious
Yeah.
to try to encourage other people to rep a block, and just because you're on the wrong side of it,
Yeah.
fuck them. Those are the ops. No, that's someone's kid just
Yeah.
going to school, and it really bothered me how we don't deal with violence the same.
Yeah.
Skin color and racial tension and a lot of things key into whose lives matter in America.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying what I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, we talk about Black Lives Matter. No, I'm talking about just generally.
Yeah.
A lot of people, we take value from their life by how we talk about them. And when you speak about somebody, you're painting a picture of them that might not need to be painted. It's really tough for me to go to talk about this really calmly because I've been on the receiving and the giving end of it, and it made me a bad person to talk shit about somebody because they're from a different area than I am, or it's childish and stupid.
Yeah.
And being around violence for a lot of my upbringing, it was really alarming to see the effect it had on me. I only think about what would happen if you're a child in the area like Chicago.
Oh,
when are we gonna address the horrible mental health issues that are happening in areas like Chicago, Detroit, Flint? I got a buddy from my boy Wyatt there was a neighbor with me from Flint, Michigan, telling me about it. These people grow up with serious issues mentally because they're inherently in danger. People talk about, oh fuck, dude, it must have been so hard over there in Iraq. In Iraq, you got the ops.
Yeah.
When you're walking down the street as a 6 or 7 or 9-year-old and bullets start going by you, it has a very adverse effect on your mind, and you become hostile. We have hostile children growing up all over America, and especially in Black communities. And I don't talk about Black communities a lot on my podcast, but I'm talking about it today because we're both Black. We can both talk about this shit, right? We have a very, very centered perspective of what it's like to grow up in areas where that's the thing: poverty, crime, all this shit. It's horrible.
Yeah, even from you touching on that aspect of like 6 to 9, I think you're just ignorant if you completely deny the fact of oppression, not because of like there are people who have a victimized mentality, which I don't believe in. I believe if you're capable, I don't care what skin color, female, male, if you're capable, then it is your responsibility to do what you have to do. But I also don't deny the fact that oppression is real. And like what you just said on that age, not too many people know, like from age 0 to age 7, you're in a stage of hypnosis.
Mm-hmm.
So when you see your little kid playing with a train and he's just whatever riding it, and you're like, yeah, he's a weird kid or whatever. But to him, he's actually seeing this because it's like he's just soaking it all in. Everything you see, every action you move, he's just soaking that all in. So just imagine dropping someone in an environment where there's nothing but violence, dealing drugs, racism, just all of that. Then that's just what you know until you step out and you're like, you know what, this isn't how I want to live my life.
Absolutely. Wow, man. And I'm really glad you brought that up because my wife has this amazing person that connects me and him, or me and her, to her brother Jackson. Right? He's 9 years old right now, and he's about to be 10 in September. But he had a very difficult time growing up because everybody's working super hard, and when you are in an environment where people around you they they speak differently
Mm-hmm.
than other people, and you know I'm not saying this is a bad thing for his mom was always working,
Mm-hmm.
sister always working hard. Everyone's trying to feed knowledge and power to this child. He we It's everybody else's responsibility in a family or a community to help our children become better. And that
Absolutely.
those ages 1 to 7, that is everything,
Vital.
everything. And if he gets bad information, if he gets shit talked about him, or if he gets bad feedback about the person he is, or how he looks, how he speaks, if we don't teach him to say words other than like, he's going to have those things
Yeah.
for a long time.
Yeah.
And if we don't uplift our youth in every
Yeah.
aspect, I'm just giving you one example.
Mm-hmm.
I can say the same thing about a person in the hood down in Tacoma. If I sit in there and my cousin tells me that the people 2 streets over keep shooting in the air when they get drunk and have parties and the cops don't show up, why is my cousin telling me this? She is, and it's normal for her to say that.
Yeah.
So she's in an environment where it's socially acceptable to not have the police show up to a shooting. 2, it's socially acceptable to get drunk and shoot in the air. Those bullets come down, you dumb fuck. Yeah,
Yeah.
and fucking Joe Biden said the same shit. That idiot. He's like, oh,
Yeah.
just fire a couple shots in the air. What happens when those shots come
Yeah.
down and kill somebody? Because it happens. It happens.
Yeah.
And 3, the worst part of it all is this: what's gonna happen in her future? She's in an inherent place of danger.
Yeah.
It really sucked because my aunt,
Mm-hmm.
her significant other at the time, got gunned down. His name was Tony, and he got shot to shit. And now that little girl, her father figure is gone. So, now she's in a great relationship with a great man, and I'm so happy for them. But it's really tough to think about often. I think often about this little girl grew up, and she thinks it's okay, or she thinks it's normal to have these things happen. So her standards for her life might be lower. And if Jackson, my wife's brother, had these standards for himself, we have to make sure they're high as well. If he thinks it's okay to yell at a child, or for him to get bullied at school, and we don't deal with it appropriately, we have to support our children to deal with bullies. And sometimes violence is a necessity. Sometimes it's not okay for a teacher to let shit slide by and him come home fucked up, all upset because he got bullied all day. We have to step in as a community and right wrongs, whether it's the teacher fucking up, the cops, or the people doing it. And it's really tough to have these realizations. I'm only 27 years old, and it's really tough for me to. I don't have kids yet. We're gonna have kids probably. Hopefully, we're starting a family next year. But I'm nervous because I'm not only nervous, but more anxious.
Yeah.
Because I want to make sure I know as much as possible and have as much knowledge to tell my children, don't do that shit, or this is not okay. And then I go yell at the teacher, and I correct the deficiency.
Yeah. It's crazy you mentioned that, because even like just a couple. So sometimes people don't understand, like, hearing everything you said. Somebody's probably just like, I don't know what he's talking about. But like, sometimes I have to give my experience for people to understand so that they look at it through their point of view. Even just like a couple nights ago, I was like thinking about, like, what can I do to better myself? And then like, what are the issues that I'm dealing with now? And then I don't know why I started thinking about school. And I was like, like all the tendencies that I had that I didn't nip in the bud in elementary school and middle school, they are literally the same tendencies and quote unquote issues that I'm dealing with now. Even like
Holy
as
shit.
far as like talking. So I hated English growing up and stuff like that. I hated English. Like the little I don't know if y'all had like spelling tests and stuff like that.
If I got the apostrophe in the wrong place, my teacher would hold up my paper with a giant red mark around it and show the whole class. Our teacher shamed us, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, "Are you serious?" Teacher? Yes, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for it.
Yeah.
I was so bad at English.
Yeah.
I also have really bad dyslexia and
I have it slightly too. Yeah.
issues seeing things for what they are, so I have to read everything twice.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we're in the same boat.
you imagine
man.
how fun it was
Yeah.
to read out loud in class.
Yeah. For me it's really bad with numbers.
Mhm.
So math, like English and math were my worst subjects. Like just putting things in places that they don't belong. I had all the general knowledge, but just putting places in different places. But like I was saying, pretty much like as far as spelling, like I would literally just do what I had to just throw something on the paper, or even like not being intentional enough with my words to pronounce each individual word and project my voice and stuff like that. So when I go out and meet new people and stuff like that, or whenever I get, anxious, I fall back into those tendencies and I talk too fast and mumble my words and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm a grown man. Why am I still dealing with these things? And it's like, that's the thing. I never dealt with it in the first place. So now, whenever I just fall back into those tendencies, it's all my brain knows because that's what I allowed through standards.
Yeah, standards are definitely important.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up because when I was, even to this day, I recognize deficiencies that I have, faults that I have. They're all, if I can think about it and know it,
Yeah.
all that shit is my fault.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have a tough time.
Yeah.
I've realized dealing with accountability is a huge thing.
Yeah.
And I want to be accountable. I want to be held accountable more often. I think one of my biggest saving graces is my wife because
Yeah.
she'll tell me calmly when I'm fucked up. She's like, "Hey, you this is not right. You have to do something different." And she cares about me enough to say that.
That's
I think
awesome.
a partner in your life, whether it's a friend,
Yeah.
whether it's your mom, your dad, whoever it might be, you need a partner to tell you when you're messing up, kind of check you so you don't have to, check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure.
So I really benefit from
Yeah.
that. But I've recognized a lot of issues every single day with myself.
Yeah.
And I get really unhappy with it.
Yeah.
And I notice that sometimes I don't do anything about it. And then I really get mad at myself.
Yeah.
And I got told once I had a resting bitch face. And I said,
we're light skinned, bro. We just get it.
I said, listen, man, I do not have resting bitch face. I'm thinking about how to be better. If you focus on yourself, maybe you'll have the same effect on your face.
Yeah.
The resting bitch of face.
Yeah.
and the thought that was so overwhelming shock. It had me cracking up.
Yeah.
What else? So what else was a struggle in school?
Oh man.
I know. What about you? Grew up in Virginia, right?
Yes, Virginia.
Chris Brown is also from Virginia. VA,
Yeah.
throw it up.
Yeah.
Wow. When I was stationed over there, everyone looked at me weird. They could tell I wasn't from there.
Yeah.
But I kind of molded in pretty well after a while.
Yeah,
what was it like to grow up in that school? Is there racial tension? What are the issues that you dealt with?
Oh man. I didn't really know it at the fact, or didn't know it at the time. Like I guess a little backstory. My mom grew up in Southside Chicago. Speaking of the devil, and my dad grew up in South Philly, but
yeah. Great places to grow up.
But in Virginia, the majority of our family is from like Gloucester, so Gloucester, Poquoson, stuff like that. Yorktown. Not too many people.
What are those? Are those so there's? I'm so ignorant. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
Cities?
They're more so like towns, little country,
cool.
But it's like third world countries. They're like third world towns. Like they're still stuck in their ways, pretty much. So like growing up, you don't really notice it. It's kind of like Snickers, when someone like says a joke and they pronounce that it's a joke, or they tell you it's a joke, but you can tell like they really mean it. And you're like, like
what do you mean?
like stuff like
you can say whatever you want to say.
Okay,
yeah,
like
this is not a PG thing.
So my parents, even though like sometimes I stumble my words and stuff like that, my parents really harped on us like penmanship and also like talking properly and carrying yourself. Don't walk outside with a do rag or a white beater, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So the area I grew up in, which is the suburbs of Williamsburg, Virginia, there are kids who parents were like doctors. They worked at the shipyard because Norfolk's right there.
Oh
So
yeah.
they grew up a little bit different, even though we were in the same town than we did. Like, and going through school and stuff, they'd say stuff like, you're not one of them black kids because of how I talk and like
Okay.
the way I carry myself, just stuff like that. Like, oh, you probably got a lot of like grease in your hair and stuff like that. Just stuff like,
Yeah, well, your hair
yeah,
is probably really oily.
yeah,
You
yeah,
dumb
just
fuck. It's called a lot of people don't know this. Black people's hair it doesn't naturally produce oil and grease
yeah,
like a Caucasian person
yeah,
says. So you have to put grease in your hair, or otherwise you're
yeah,
gonna suffer from dandruff. Your
hmm
hair is gonna look unkept. There's
yeah,
a lot of things that go into it.
yeah.
So those jokes just make you look like a dumb fuck.
Yeah, yeah, and just projecting stuff. Of course, we've ran into the extremists.
Mm-hmm.
Just hard R's,
Yeah.
N words. We handled that how we knew. So pretty much, I grew up with a certain perspective of how I believed white people were supposed to act and how I believe like black people were supposed to act, as
Mm.
opposed to like me accepting that I'm not racially black. It's just the culture of what I grew up in. But there is no difference in that person just because he has blonde hair. I just have more melanin in myself than he does. So just stuff like that of just the perspective of what the standard of and what I was supposed to be as opposed to just being myself, if that
And
makes
we're all
sense.
absolutely, brother, and we're all individuals.
Yeah.
That was something that I really learned after I got out of the Navy. So I spent 20 fuck, I'm old. I probably spent about 22 or 23 years of my life with these weird, like if I put on these sunglasses, right?
Yeah.
Everything is darker. When I take them off, I see beautiful colors.
Yeah.
I see things about the world that weren't there before. And it's
Sheesh.
really interesting to pull off these blinders that society gives us, that school and the bullshit and our parents is bullshit, and our parents, excuse me, they're great things that they give to us. The knowledge, when we sit down with our grandparents and they told us what it's like to be a black person in America, and then we go to school and I'm black and white, right? So my dad's black, my mom's white,
Mhm.
and my grandfather as a child wouldn't hold me on my white side
Sheesh.
because I was black, right? And people have the audacity in this day and age to tell people that just because they're white, they're racist. My mom was scrutinized by her entire family for being with a black man, and I think it's great. My grandmother married a black man in the 60s and broke the tides.
Sheesh.
Literally said, fuck everything. I'm going to do what I want to do because I love this person. Not their skin color, not their culture. And my grandma was white as hell, but she says, you know what? Eddie, you know I'm black. I'm for the people.
Okay, grandma.
And she's crazy as hell, man.
Yeah.
But I still love it to death.
Yeah.
But it's really difficult for me to understand how someone can look at somebody else and say, hey, you're perpetually this.
Yeah.
You're before everything with all the rip down your layers. Fuck who your name is. You are racist because you're white. Do you know how stupid you sound? You are racist because you're classifying them because they're fucking.
And trust me, I lived that life for a little bit, like in Gloucester and Yorktown. They were still hanging people almost like 10 years ago still. And like
what?
the stuff,
They're still hanging people in these areas.
They're not now, but like, and that we had cases of people just hanging off. It's a bridge that we have that they used to hang people on. And I guess people, like people like to go back in time and like relive those moments or whatever. But
insane people.
Yeah.
People who have inherently small penises.
Yeah, pretty much small dick energy for sure. But just pretty much just stuff like that, like because of what my parents went through and what my dad doesn't talk much. He doesn't even get into it, like the stuff that they went through. That was all projected on me, and it took me literally my godparents, I call them my godparents. They're both white. My best friends are a set of twins. They're from Alaska. So it took me literally, when I had my issues at home, like pretty much it was a time frame when I stayed with them like for almost 6 months for me to realize like some people just don't know. Like they don't know all the stuff that they're saying is wrong because like I had to look at it from his perspective. He grew up in Alaska. There's probably like 3 black people that they went to school with. My parents actually grew up and lived that life and actually went through all of that. So their perspective of like what they actually went through and their experience is going to be different from what he had to deal with in Alaska. Like, who's going to be racist in Alaska? Bro, all you do is get some land, you stay in your whatever, you want to be a lumberjack, you stay there, you live there, you enjoy your life, you don't bother anybody. Yeah. But you come to an area like a big city when you are always constantly running into these people, you have to get service from these people, you have to deal with these people, have to sit down at a table and, you know, back then my dad was born in the 60s, I believe. You have to deal with, you know, you can't see here. Why not? Because of your skin color. Yeah, like
it's horrible.
Yeah, so it's just some people just don't know because they're looking at it from their perspective and not the other one.
It's really I really like how you put that, man. I think we all do need to sit and look at things from other perspective.
Yeah.
One of the most beneficial things I've ever done is to ask myself, how am I speaking to my wife? How am I speaking to her mother? How am I speaking to her brothers? How am I speaking to my mother? Do I want my child to see his dad like this?
Sheesh.
Hell no. Do you have any experience with here? I know you're not too big into the news and shit like that.
Yeah.
But do you have any experience with these groups that show up? They arm themselves and they show up to different areas and they NFAC, the Not Fucking Around Coalition, the group of black armed guys that would show up and they'd march in the streets and they'd take a knee and basically a projection of power.
Mm-hmm. No, I haven't. I've only been here for like a couple months.
Okay.
Maybe.
So it was happening on the East Coast, and this guy, he would, Grandmaster Jay, he would wrangle up a bunch of people, and they would go out armed, and they'd be tacticaled out, right? All the shit, and they'd go out, and they'd march, and they'd show up at rallies for against, and they'd protest things that they deemed racist. And I agreed with some of the things they did.
Yeah.
I disagree with a lot of things they did.
Yeah.
Just like Antifa, just like BLM, the organization, just like BLM, people that are BLM supporters. I agree with some of the things that Trump supporters say.
Yeah.
You know, we have all these categories. At the end of the day, everyone is individual, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But they would show up to areas that are mainstream bad. I wonder how great and how beautiful that would have been if they, or a group like them, or just a group of Americans, everybody, people who don't give a fuck anymore, people who want to help the community, go to a place where they do hang people and sort that shit the fuck out. There's no reason why anybody in this day and age should look at anybody and think, oh, this person should be hung, unless it's a pedophile. Fuck those guys. They can all die. I'm sorry.
I feel you.
I'm not sorry. I love it.
Yeah.
Kill them all.
Yeah. No, I've had my deal abouts with extreme Republicans, just, you know, Trump flags, diesel trucks, but, you know, just blocking off traffic, going crazy, stuff like that. But no, I can't even. Yeah, I can't.
I'm trying to go to work.
Yeah, no, bro.
But I always tell people, I'm going to work. Get the fuck out of my way.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. Get out the road.
Yeah.
If you're on the sidewalk, I might even honk at you. Yeah.
Yeah. Good job.
Please exercise your First Amendment.
Just stay on the sidewalk.
Get the fuck out of the road.
No, and I just people don't really so I get a lot of different you know sideballs. I don't know if you've seen some of my posts and stuff like that. I don't really care what anybody says because like I don't know, I'm tired of people just being okay with those like standards of just like, you're really like, me and my best friend, we were talking the other day, and he was like, people are really still racist in 2021. Yeah. Like, how can you even still be like that?
Honestly, absolutely. And not even falsely.
Yeah.
Not even quietly, openly. And I always think before I correct somebody, I say, what does this person experience? They might have had a grandmother that's racist. Who gives a fuck? And then bam, and I attack, right? Yeah. But I always try to not give people the benefit of the doubt, but understand their perspective. Yeah. So that I can help change their perspective. Yeah. Because if you just beat up a racist, they're gonna be like, oh, that fucking nigger, what my ass. Yeah. You're right, he did, bitch. But if I can also teach somebody a lesson. If I spend 5 minutes after our altercation with somebody, explain to them how they're wrong and how they're not being a good person, and they take that shit home, they're gonna be like, this person really fucked me up, had a conversation with me about why I'm being a bad person and why he's put hands on me. and now that person might just maybe
Yeah.
you might have a better perspective. And I think that's how we all need to deal with racism. If somebody makes a fucking racial joke in front of you that's not that you know it's not a joke, it's trying to get a rise out of you, press that motherfucker.
Yeah.
But remember, if you just put hands on somebody, just like with a child, if you put hands on a child and you spank them without giving them a reason, they're just going to be fucked up. I always, when I have a child, my child will be spanked, but I'm going to talk with them before and after of why it's happening.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give them a chance to realize when they're wrong. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and an out. Said, hey, so you can either feel pain or we can make this better.
Yeah.
You can go and speak to your mom about why you were wrong. Apologize. Honestly, I don't want to. I'm sorry, and have to work out. And fuck that. You kidding me? But resolve the issue and also pay it back. You went to the neighbor house and you spray painted their wall. Guess who is rebuilding that piece of their that fence? You. We're gonna go to the store with your allowance money, or I'm gonna deduct it from that, and we take you to the store. And you are going to be fixing this. I want to see you hit your hand with the nail, and be like, oh damn it, yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
Because that you have to pay retribution, pay it back.
Yeah.
Your debt to society. I think we've stepped away from that when it comes to racism. We just call somebody a racist and get them fired from their job.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Don't get. People say don't get mad, don't get even. Fuck that. Don't get mad. Get ahead. Get ahead. Make them see how they're fucked up and fix it.
Yeah. And dude, just two things on that. When you don't give into that mental barrier, it disarms people. Like, I got in an altercation the other day. I don't call it an altercation because the person was upset with me, called me, cussing me out, this, and that. I just sat there and listened. Like, other people would be like, yeah, I just sat there and let him get it all off his chest. Other people would be like, you know what, F you, forget this, whatever, you can suck my whatever. Yeah. But I was like, okay, well, this is why I did this. You messed up here. And me, as another black man to another black man, me trying to run my own business and you running your own business currently, it would not sit right with me to allow you to have those standards for your business. Now that I expressed that to you, what can we come together to do to fix it? And he just slowly digressed. And then we came to a solution. If we just did the same thing, even in our household, going back to like what you were just saying, with like mental health issues and stuff like that, we are in such a colonized mindset in our communities and we have no clue. So I was thinking about it the other day. I don't know how your grandma was, but my grandma, bro, if there's a speck on the ground, bro, at 80 years old, she's getting up. All you hear is like, do. She's old as dirt, bro. Just do. Like, what is that noise? It's her old ass in there cleaning. It's like, what are you doing? But then you look back, like I was thinking about it, slavery wasn't that long ago from the time that she was around.
Yeah. So her grandma might have been fucking whipped or hit for not cleaning that
in
shit.
The house for a little speck. Master or whatever comes home, he's mad, whatever, just takes it out on her. You need to fix this, even no matter how unrealistic it is. Then you take out the color, you put a black dad who stressed out at her work because he's working 12, 14 hours. He comes home, his kid does something stupid that all kids do. We all do stupid stuff. And he just beats the hell out of him. And the kid's like, what the heck did I do? Because he's just like living his life, adventuring. And instead of saying like, hey, that's kind of messed up, like, why would you do this? Instead of like asking him like, why would you do this? You just beat the hell out of him, send him to his room, no supper or whatever.
You gotta talk.
Yeah, so it's people. Like, yeah, bro, if we would just take the time, I always say this, so I try not to get into big politics and big arguments and stuff like that. People call me insensitive or whatever.
You should express yourself how you deem fit, and no one should tell you how to express yourself.
Exactly. So I just feel like if we would take that mental barrier off of, I'm in America, first off, I don't care what color you are, you're not going to tell me that I can't do something.
That's right.
I'm going to go do it. But if we would take
buy more guns up in this motherfucker.
Yeah, facts. If we would take that mental barrier off, just like even with lifting, you're big into fitness, bro. 135 probably used to be the most heaviest
Heavy
thing
shit
ever.
ever.
Bro, that was a milestone, bro.
Yeah.
I'm going to get 2 plates.
Me having 1 plate
was
the milestone.
Right, yeah, like it used to be the heaviest thing ever. And then, you came in, it was a little bit lighter. Then you came in, now you're just throwing 245s on it, you're warming up.
Yeah.
If we would take that block of, race off and just say, someone comes to me and they're like, I hate you because you're black. Okay, you just don't understand. And then just leave it at that. Then what is he going to say? I hate you because you're black. He has nothing else to throw at you. You're just like, you don't understand what's going on here.
My average response is it depends on how they come about it. Like, 'cause I work in Seattle, I get a lot of crazy motherfuckers like, "Hey, nigger," and I'm like, yeah. I say, I'm gonna fuck your face with my fist.
Y'all do have some crackheads out here.
My mechanic and all his buddies have seen it firsthand too many times. But they've said, I've had people say, "Hey, man, say what you act." Oh, just because you're black, and I'm like, are you understanding what you're saying to another human being? You sound like a bitch, because if you have a problem with me, you either tell me, hey, I don't like you, and I say, okay, well, we don't have to like you. Just don't talk. Don't talk to me. And if you feel like a violent tendency, then act on it. If not, you're a coward. And on top of all that, who are you to tell me how I should act or who I should be? And even more so, how audacious can you be to not like somebody because of who they are, their background, all these things? Just say how you feel, and if you got a problem with me, let's resolve it. If I'm doing something wrong, I have no problem apologizing and fixing it, actually fixing it. But if you have a problem, go take that shit to your mom. Complain to her. Fuck yourself, man. Get out of here.
Write in your journal or
just
something.
Like you said, I am an American.
Yeah.
And I'll be damned if anybody ever tells me what I shouldn't do. But if I'm wrong, please tell me. So, did you have any issues as you're growing up? I know that you are black and something else, right?
Native American.
Native American.
Yes.
Do you know which tribe do you descend from?
I believe Cherokee. I want to do the 23. No, not 23andMe. I don't trust them.
Ancestry.com.
But yeah, Ancestry.com.
That
would
be interesting.
Yeah, I'm. My great aunt is 100% like Cherokee. My great grandma, I believe, is 100% Cherokee as well. Okay. So I have a little bit of European in me too, but yeah.
That's pretty interesting. Yeah. Man. Do you have strong cultural ties?
I guess like tendencies, like being out, and I never like being in the house. I mean, having a black mother didn't really help with that either, because I don't know where you're going, but you got to get up out of here, and you better be here before the street lights come on.
Come on. You know what? Do you know the origination of that?
No, I have no clue.
So it originated. To the best of my knowledge, I might be wrong. If I'm wrong, please do reach out. I'd like to be right. I don't like to be wrong.
Yeah.
But it started with sundown towns. Right? When the sun goes down, if you're black and you're out, the Klan's gonna fucking get you, and your mother and your dad will find your body hanging. It doesn't matter. And there's laws. You can't be out past dark. In some towns, the laws have never changed. In Texas, I guess my wife's friend had an experience there where they're like, no, we're not going to serve you. You know what time it is? Like this, once the sun goes down and you're black, you can't be out. They won't help you. They won't serve you. They won't sell you a Snickers bar. Nothing. And you know what? But that's where I believe it originated from. If you're out past, it's called Sundown Town. You should look it up, man, and do some research, because it's really alarming. I don't know if I even
want to.
Well, that's where I believe it came from. Because I got told by my stepdad, was like, yeah, if the lights came on, you out, you get your motherfucking ass whooped, and it's for a reason, because they'll kill you. And in Spokane, the Klan presence was heavy. A lot of people don't know that right across the state, the Klan presence was very heavy when my stepdad was growing up there, and it creates racial tension.
Yeah,
I don't think people are like, in this day and age, like, why do black people hate white people? It's like, do you not know that some people's grandfathers took their children, ages like 3 and up, and with their daddy, and they went out and they found somebody at dark, and then they strung his ass up.
Yeah.
And they didn't drop him like hanging in the movies. They throw the rope over the tree. They put the noose around a black person's neck, and they pull up slowly while they struggle and try to scrape for air. That is the real reason why some people are literally scared of being around someone with a different skin color. Now, is it a good thing? Can we fix it? Hell yeah, we can. But it starts with talking. Yeah. So that's where I believe that came from. I know you're talking about. Do you have like a grandmother that's really native? Or any family members?
So growing up, we went through a lot growing up. I didn't really meet too many of my grandparents.
Oh, okay.
The only one I really met is my mom's mom, and she lives in Chicago. So I've only been to Chicago like once outside of boot camp. So I just don't have ties like that with them. So I couldn't even tell you.
Absolutely, man. Well, that's tough. I wish I was more close with my family as well. I didn't know most of my dad's side of the family. They all knew about me. They all knew me, but I didn't know much about them.
Yeah.
My stepdad's family, though, very close. Their grandmother, great. They call her great because she's my great grandmother.
Okay.
She was the oldest in the whole family, and I hear stories about her beating the living hell out of my stepdad and his cousins, and I would just laugh.
Yeah.
He said that they had a bunk bed, right? So uncle ran in there like a cat. He was like attached to the lower side of the bunk bed because he didn't get behind it to hide behind the wall.
Yeah.
And she came over there with the wooden spoon and started mollywopping his ass, and I was just laughing. But another time, it didn't work because that time. But he decided to get smarter, and my uncle Harlan slid under the bed. This old ass lady reached under the bunk bed, picked up the bunk bed with him, and he was clinging in the bottom of that. And she gave him, mollywopped him right there while holding it with just one arm. Just pick up and starts whipping his ass. And I was laughing. And you know what? Most of the times that they got beat were because they were out after dark.
Yeah.
It's so horrible that a community of people would have tradition or like an edict, basically an unspoken law about you having to be in your house after dark because you might get yapped up.
Yeah.
That's so sad to me.
Yeah, man, that's rough. Speaking of traumatized, though, I've got some experience with the wooden spoon.
Yeah, let's hear about it.
Oh man, this is probably like one of the worst beatings I've ever gotten. My mom is probably gonna bust out laughing or not even claim when she hears this.
It's okay.
But
you still love her, right?
Yeah, I still love her. But we were in the store. I don't even remember what I wanted. It doesn't matter. I just wanted something, so I was just acting a fool in the store. Acting a fool, bro. I kid you not. She was like, this is the first time she was ever like calm about it. She was just like, when I get home, I'm gonna tear you up. Bruh, terrified. Got home, calm as can be, put the groceries up, then just left. Bruh, talk about traumatized.
She just left.
I did not get beat for almost 3 days, bruh. 3 days, bruh. So I'm sitting here like, when is this gonna happen? Then I think I'm in the clear. I get all comfortable.
Oh no.
You remember what you did in the store the other day? Just deer in the headlights. Nope. Just wow. Then she ended up broke the spoon.
Oh,
they got mad at me. She was like, now I gotta buy a whole new spoon. Got mad at me and then beat me with the new spoon when she got back, bro. Talk about traumatized.
Oh man.
Talk about traumatized, bro.
I can't even fucking forget. I've had so many stories of and people probably listen to this and they're like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? You're laughing about this shit.
It's real,
funny,
bro.
Dude. I think, oh God, I've learned a lot of lessons with a wooden spoon, man.
Yeah, they're evil. Straight from hell.
A great lesson is not to hit your mother. So when I hear about children striking their mother when they're upset, I want to beat the fucking brakes off the kid. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Your mother is everything to you.
Yeah.
You know, she didn't bring you in this world. And, a lot of moms say, I'll bring this world, I'll take you out too.
Yeah.
And my mom joked about it, got the laughter, but I love my mom so much, and I love people's moms and their relationship. I've always envied my wife and her mom's relationship the most. But, children need to be corrected, and I don't think that it's always appropriate to use physical force.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of ways. I think embracing the suck and having it and saying, okay, I'm mad, but this is my child.
Yeah.
Let's steer them in the right direction. Hey, you fucked up. Go take your ass in the room. You're not going to read a book. You're not going to watch anything. You sit there and you think about what you did for an hour. That hour of isolation, and then come back out here and you're going to tell them what you did wrong. If you come back out and you don't have something to say, the fuck back in there. You're not in there sleeping. You're not doing anything. Discipline is a necessity for children. The child mind needs to know, do not do this because you're a bad person. When you grow up and you hit your mom, you grow up. Just let it happen. When you're 18, you hit somebody's mom. What do you think is going to happen? You're going to get your ass locked up. There's a reason you discipline children for certain things. But damn, she broke the spoon. Man. I've heard horror stories that people broke the spoon. And I was like,
I still get nightmares from it.
I'm so glad. I used to put myself in timeout. That's how I stopped getting spanked.
Yeah.
I said, I did this. I cleaned up the glass from the broken glass. I'm going to put myself in timeout because I should know better than to stand on the counter and climb up there with the rolling chair.
It's almost like playing the system a little bit.
Yes,
but
I won. I fucking won. Mom, if you hear this, I fucking won. You know I did.
Yeah, no, that's funny though.
I hope she spanks me. Motherfucker. I won.
Yeah. And sometimes, like once kids, at an early age, like my nephews, they're freaking straight from the pits. So straight from the pits. Like I got 4 of them. Every last one of them bad as hell. But
did they mismatch socks?
No, they don't. They'll mismatch, but have one sock on and the other one off, and then go outside and walk in the yard. Like stuff like that. Like just baby kids. But they hit a certain point of when it's just curiosity. Like I can sit and have a full-on like conversation with he's 5 years old. They're a set of twins, and the other one, he's a little bit older. He's like 10, 11. You can sit and have like a full-on conversation with him. Like, I went home because my favorite nephew, I went home like 4 months ago. This man was sitting here trying to tell me how to drive a car. Like, I was leaving. I was going to the grocery store for my sister. He was like, can I go with you? I was like, yeah, come on. You're my favorite nephew or whatever. Did not realize how annoying he was until he actually was in the car.
Backseat driver.
Yes, bro.
I cannot stand that shit. I'll tell somebody when they're driving to make me uncomfortable, but other than that, I keep my mouth shut.
Yeah. Yes. He was like, did you grab the keys? And I was like, looking at him. I was like, yeah. He was like, do you know what you're doing? Like, what?
I make a lot of funny jokes, and I don't mean any of them to be harmful, but I make a lot of jokes at Jackson, and I'm like, he'll ask me a question. I'm like, have you been smacked today? Do you want to take a nap? I can put you to sleep. he'll joke and he'll talk shit back. I love him to death, man. But dude, nephews, that's a whole nother level. Yeah. Nephews are scary.
Yeah.
Nieces are not. Nieces are like, oh, let's put this perfect angel. Nephews, I got two nephews, man. I got these cousins, and I call my nephews because they're younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably messed up, but I don't care. Malcolm and Xavier, these young kids, they told me to come play basketball one time in Tacoma, go to the courts, and this dude pressing me, right? And I'm like, listen, man, I'm not from around here. Get the fuck away from me. He's talking shit to me. My little cousins walk up, he go fuck your ass up, nigga. my cousin's like 6.
Yo.
So what the heck? Say, hey, get on back in the house. We're going. If you got a problem when I come out, we'll sort it out. But not with these. I'm not gonna use violence in front of these children. And the kid wasn't out there when I went to leave, but I was hoping he was. But I was like, oh man, my nephews are so wild. What is this? Why y'all always get suspended? You little troublemakers?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like where the apple falls and gets stuck there, but
yeah, I'm so alarmed. So you mentioned that you are not full black, and I know that this has been on my mind for a while. I haven't talked about it with anybody yet. I've spoken with my brother a little bit ago about how he's mixed as well.
Mm-hmm.
Were you treated differently because you're not 100% black?
Oh man, don't even get me started. It's almost worse from the black community than it is like dealing with the white kids I went to school with. Like, oh, you're soft because you're light skinned, or just stuff like that. It just doesn't make sense, and it's like you do realize like we grew up in the same type of household that you did. So what's the difference? But I don't know. People just, yes, to answer your question, yes.
you have any examples? Like, what was anything specifically that stood out to you?
I can't even say anything specific because I've tried to put all that like past me, but even just like the difference in how women treat you and expect you to act, and like people feel like they can talk to you any type of way sometimes just because you're not quote unquote fully black. They don't feel like you're gonna
Not
be
black enough.
yeah, like just being comfortable with saying like the N word around you just because they feel like, oh, you're not that type of black kid. Like, no, I don't like the word in general. I don't
Yeah.
like. I just don't like hearing it. Like,
I don't normally say it, but if I'm
yeah,
speaking in context,
yeah,
I definitely say that shit. I think
yeah,
everybody should. If you're speaking in context, say whatever word is needed to happen, but don't go around and degrade the black community by using a
yeah,
word that's of Ethiopian descent that's meant to be spoken about kings and villages. It's a term of endearment. If I call you my nigga, that is what you are. Negus is niggas.
See, I didn't even know
And
that.
dude, you got to watch. I think the easiest way to understand it is watching um, the Revolt Summit. So you had a bunch of different people. You had Candace Owens. I'm gonna write it down for you.
Okay,
I'm just
all
gonna
right,
send it
cool.
to you. Yeah, the Revolt Summit. You had Candace Owens and a couple other people that were. It was about getting people to learn how to vote, learn how to stand up for yourself,
I love
support
her,
your
by the way.
community. She's such an outspoken woman.
Yeah.
I do not agree with a lot of her views, but I respect her because she speaks her
Yeah.
mind, which is what everybody should do. If you
Yeah.
don't speak your mind, you're a coward. So we got to work past that.
Yeah.
But for her, she had the platform, and she gets paid to present a certain. She gets paid off that platform.
Yeah.
So if she built a platform off of a certain perspective, her perspective is not going to be changed very easily, which is something I don't like necessarily.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
However, I respect her because she speaks her mind. So they're both something. You had Killer Mike, T.I., he's so ridiculous, man, but he's so funny. And
I don't keep up with him at all.
Oh, he's so reckless, man. But I do like him a lot. He's quite entertaining. But him and a couple other people, and they sat down in front of a huge audience, and they were talking about how we, as Americans, but more specifically as Black Americans from in Atlanta, how we're going to vote. We're not just going to vote blue because you're Black.
Yeah.
Don't vote. Oh, I'm voting Democrat because
Yeah.
Republicans are racist. You sound stupid.
Yeah.
We have to branch away from that, and that's what the whole thing was about speaking up for yourself. If you are in a Black community that's being controlled by Caucasian people whose daddies and grandpas are inherently racist, not systematically, because that's bullshit. We broke away from that a long time ago.
Yeah.
People are choosing to be racist or not in this day and age.
Yeah.
And Black people choose to be racist. White people choose to be racist. Asian people, Native Americans, anyone can be racist.
Me being Native American, I can say that the two like I feel like are the worst are Native Americans and then Hispanics, like Puerto Ricans and stuff like that.
They
hate
Black
everyone.
people
White
Dominicans.
people does not matter what you believe you are. They hate you.
So I asked my buddy if he was a little side note. I asked my buddy if he was Dominican the other day. And I didn't, because I was wondering. I didn't know because he said he went to the Dominican Republic for vacation. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Are you Dominican? He's like, what the fuck? I'm fucking Puerto Rican. And I'm like, oh God, my bad.
They don't play that at all.
At all. But back to it. The Revolt Summit was a great thing because they brought up a very good point. And I love talking about this. It's one of my favorite things to bring up. So everybody sits there and they say, oh, you got to vote for these people. For these people. This is what we got to do. We got to vote for this. We got to vote for them. Blah, 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 blah. You know what we need to do? We need to stop choosing parties. We're not tribal. We're beyond that.
Dude.
Oh, I only vote blue. I vote true, vote blue. Or vote red or you're dead. Or whatever. You guys sound so pathetic. We have to take a look at the real world and say, there's a lot of people who should not be in office.
Oh, man.
Is Trump a great president? For a lot of reasons, yes. Is he tactful? Is he respectful? The fuck? Absolutely not. And everybody, it's no secret.
Yeah.
Is Joe Biden a good president? I don't know. Did he oppose people riding the same school bus because there's different colors of their skin? Fuck yeah. So there's a lot of things that we need to take into consideration. Did he say clap for that, you stupid bastards, when he showed up to speak to the military to get votes? Yes, he did. Did he also say things like, if you don't vote for me, you ain't Black? Yeah, I have the t-shirt that said it. It's one of my favorite quotes it is. I really don't fucking like Joe Biden. I don't like Kamala either because she's a hypocrite.
Oh yeah.
But I don't like Mike Pence either. There's a lot of people and you can't use you can't just say, oh, you can't
Yeah.
broad stroke. Oh, if you don't do this, you're not black or white. I've heard that my whole life, and I was like, you know what? I'd love to be within 10 feet of this motherfucker any day,
Yeah,
because
no,
I
I
would
know how
love to
you
let him
feel.
know that you want to tell me what black person's supposed to be like. Are we supposed to say yes, massa, and be a good little nigga? Is that what we're supposed to do? Are we supposed to not sit in the back of the bus like Rosa Parks refused to do? What are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do, Joe? You feel comfortable saying this in the year 2020? Come on, man, fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So I don't like, and we I could sit here and talk about who I think should have been a president. I think Tulsi Gabbard was the best option we had, and that's just point blank. Period.
Yeah, I try not to speak too much on politics just because of my lack of knowledge of it. But
well, that's a good reason. But you should always express yourself, like I said, how you feel. So if you don't feel like it, don't. It's okay.
Yeah, no. Well, but I will say that I feel like uh, having political parties are creating another form of racism because of our identity crisis that we have in America. People don't know who they are, who they're supposed to be, and me being like Christian man, I believe that's a part of why people fall into those type of things and try to find that identity through politics, because my dad's a Republican, so I'm a Republican. I want to please or make my dad proud. So and back to like the voting thing, people get mad at me when I say voting doesn't matter, but
it doesn't.
It doesn't. But I say that because if you don't know what you're doing, just like stocks, if you just throw a bunch of money into stocks and expect you to be a millionaire in 2 days,
you're dumb as hell.
Then it's no point in investing in stocks. But if you know to like, I don't even know who are like our county senators, who does like the district for the schools, who does the lining. What are we gonna learn? What are they putting out? I don't know who that is, so I can't sit here and say or blame a man all the way up in presidency if I don't even know what's going on in my own town. Like me personally, I have not taken the time to invest in learning about who our governor is, what he's about, who are the people under him. That trickles down all the way to just even the admin in my school board, because that's like they're teaching the people who are going to come up and pursue these things.
The children are the future, and we have to just we have to scrutinize. I think people looked at the school system as a daycare system, like, oh, well, my kids are at school. We have to fucking scrutinize the people teaching our children. I had somebody tell my wife's little brother that there's 8 oceans. Jackson, what's the name of the 8th one?
Pacific, I believe.
The South Pacific Ocean or some shit like that. I said, there ain't no fucking South Pacific Ocean. The fuck? And I told there's 7 oceans. And I was like arguing. I was pissed off. I told his mom, I was like, we gotta go deal with this bitch. Take me to the school. And she was like, no, there's 8. And my wife said, Eddie, just Google it. And I Googled it. They made an 8th ocean.
They separated the oceans?
They separated the oceans. And it's stuff like that is, I can admit that I'm wrong, but stuff like that is small. When we start telling our children who to vote for and how the Republicans or Democrats are bad in schools, that's not your place, you fucking teacher. You know what? It's also not the teacher's place to have a homework assignment, which is the new legislation passed this. I don't know if you heard about it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a new sex bill. So it's a sexual education for children that are in elementary school, and they're going to be, and I looked at the paperwork with my own fucking eyes, and I could not believe the shit. A question that you're supposed to go home and talk with your parents about. It's optional for parents to have their children learn this. But do a lot of parents see all the forms that come home from school?
No,
absolutely not. So if I am going on the internet and seeing this thing, and some of their syllabus has to do with, go home and Google or ask your parents, depending on if they're available, what is soft porn? What's the difference between softcore and hardcore porn? What is a transsexual? Asking if no one should be telling someone else's child to do anything that has to do with sex. You know why? Everyone always forgets the most important thing. We have to protect our children from predators. If my child is looking for an older individual to teach them some shit because they learn what sex is, that is a significant issue, and the possibility of that is very real. And to say that it's not is you're fucking confused. We have to protect our children.
Yeah.
We have to teach them when we deem it appropriate.
Yeah.
Or in middle school. because that's when these changes are happening.
Yeah.
A 9-year-old doesn't need to know what a vagina looks like. The fuck?
Yeah, no, I definitely know where you're coming from, and it's like almost inevitable now because it's in TV shows, it's in music. Like for me, just growing up around that stuff, like that's stuff me personally that I struggle with. Like everything I'm trying to accomplish, it's a distraction.
Yeah.
It's too much energy, way too much energy, time consuming, and like I literally have to fight to get those thoughts out of my head because it's something that had been implanted in my foundation very early on, hanging around wrong group of people, hanging around my cousins and stuff like that, just pushing that onto me, just telling me a certain way of how to look at women and how to sexualize them,
Yeah.
as opposed to just walking up to someone and seeing like a beautiful individual and saying, hey, how's your day going? I have to like, just based off what I learned, then figure out, how do I strategically walk up to this woman and compliment her and let her know I'm not interested, but I'm talking to her, but it doesn't really make sense, but I'm gonna go with it. Just as opposed to just saying like, hey, how's your day going? And then like if it goes anywhere from there, cool.
Great.
If not, so
I've always struggled with that. I had a great opportunity to speak to my sailors because at one point I was in charge of all of my second division. So I got to have one-on-one time with my sailors. Like, hey, listen, don't go out there and let some dirty motherfucker up in your shit, ladies. And men, don't be a dirty motherfucker and try to get up in someone's shit. Take care of your body. Hygiene, wear protection. Think about the consequences of your actions. And it was cool. They called me Uncle Lowry because they stopped calling me my rank really fast. And I got an opportunity to inflict, because a lot of people were making bad decisions, and I had to intervene. I couldn't sit there and I'm responsible for these sailors. Their mommy and daddies aren't there to tell them, and they might not have been there before to say, hey, this person's going to try to have sex with you, and if you let them bust a nut, you're going to get pregnant. A lot of people didn't even know how to take a shower properly. So even after boot camp, and I had to be the one to teach them. So it was great for me to have a platform to do that, but it was really difficult. So you were talking about introducing yourself to ladies and going through, how to start a relationship and stuff. So how important do you think presentability is? Because I know you're a very presentable young man. You look great. You're well kept. You have a haircut. You're lined up. You speak formally. You're very professional about how you conduct yourself. So how important is it for you to be presentable? And do you have like standards for other people in relationships? I think this goes without saying that we all have certain types or whatever to look for. What do you believe constitutes a proper looking male? Because I look at you and I see exactly what I would want. Like if I had a son or if I had a brother, I'd want them to look and carry themselves like you. You articulate your words well and stuff like that.
I appreciate that. I feel like it's almost everything. Me growing up, I'm a very artistic person, and usually, the visual of artistic people, messy man bun, mismatched socks, stuff like that, just very expressive of yourself. But with both of the professions that I'm currently in, I realize that, you're selling yourself constantly. And growing up, I was, a goofy individual. I was quiet for a certain point. Then around like high school, started talking a little bit more than class clown. And then now that I'm in the spot that I'm in, I would get frustrated whenever I get serious and people don't take me seriously. Well, if you act like a clown, people are going to treat you like a clown. And I didn't really understand that until I went off on my own and joined the military and started the business that I'm running. People, like you said, when I first got here, you want to be around people who are farther ahead than you so that you can be the little fish in a small pond. Why would you take your time to follow someone if I came in here with a nappy ass head, some busted down shoes, not even like a clean shirt, like just stuff all over me, and you're like, you came here to talk on my podcast like this? And you thought that was okay? So I don't think I have the credibility and platform yet to answer your other question, to hold other standards on other people. That's why I'm single right now. That's why I'm working on myself, so that I can get to that point to be like, hey, why do you feel like this is okay? Like, why do you feel like it's okay to carry yourself? Well, I'm just doing me, yada, yada, yada. Well, where's that going to get you? Like, you can do you all you want, but where's that going to get you?
Life holds you accountable by
Yeah.
yourself? Well, fuck.
Yeah. Because success, my mentor is Taj Zacharias. Like, bro, he said success doesn't care.
Yeah,
Like,
it don't care how you feel.
you're not entitled to a damn thing. This world owes you absolutely nothing. Like, even the birds, you think a bird is just gonna go out and like just open his mouth and a bunch of worms are gonna, you hear birds getting up 0 dark 30 every day, busting their ass like the seals getting out there,
food.
bro.
They fight over food.
Yeah,
Yes,
fight
sir.
over foods, over females, even just mating. Flowers gotta fight because they gotta catch the bees to pollinate it. So it's like, why do you feel if a flower who can't even walk doesn't, why do you feel like you don't have to work for anything and then you can just carry yourself and do how you want just because you feel like, if that makes sense?
Yes, it absolutely does. I think how you present yourself is wonderful. I think your humility when it comes to your stance for others is great too. I've always looked at life very simply. You have one body.
Mm-hmm.
If you treat it like shit, you're gonna look like shit.
Yeah.
And I have standards for the person that I'm in a relationship with.
Yeah.
If I don't like the way you look, I'm not going to be attracted to you. If I don't like the way I look, I'm not going to be attracted to me. I'm not,
Yeah.
I have like baseline, really, really relaxed standards. But I look around at society and I realize how relaxed standards at a certain point will be bad.
Yeah.
We have a society here in America where it's socially acceptable for children to be obese and to have physical issues.
Yeah.
You know, we have a society that is just completely obsessed with easy way out. Easy. Let's not be hardworking and responsible like people were back in our previous generations. And being a half black and half white guy, I didn't get a lot of easy breaks growing up. I got told a lot of things I didn't like to hear, and those didn't sit right with me, but they didn't hurt me. What hurt me was me looking in the mirror and not liking what I see. Yeah. And if that thought crosses my mind where I'm trying to do all these things to spruce myself up to look great, like you'll notice right now, I have my face isn't done, my eyebrows are all fucked up, like my hair's not cut, like because I know what I want to look like, and I know I'm working in progress right now. Like I'm bulking right now. I should be around. I'm hoping to be about 220 before my next competition. Right now I'm at 199. I'm pretty sure.
You're tanked, dude.
Thank you, brother. A lot of hard work and a lot of learning from my coach. We can definitely tap into that later as well. But I want to look attractive for my partner. I expect my standards to be well kept. Yeah. I'm not going to have body odor. I'm not going to talk rudely to my partner. If I mean rude and she tells me, I correct it and I apologize immediately. I don't want to have issues in my household. I don't want to. Just basic shit, right? I don't want to do drugs. I don't want to make excuses and be a weak little bitch either. Yeah. So when I'm going to work and I can't lift something, that's a problem. I will never ever go to work and not be able to pick up something less than 300 pounds. No problem. One arm, you fucking pick it up, right? No issue.
I'm over here. Yeah, 50 pounds is my standard. I'm just kidding.
Is it going to be good for my spine? All that shit? Probably not. My joints will probably suffer, but I lift weights pretty regularly, not just to look a certain way, but to be able to move a certain way too. And I think that's very beneficial. But I don't want to look unpresentable physically, because people can dress up and put on all the makeup, and guys can get the fucking crazy ass haircut. They could fucking have the money in the cars. If you look like shit, you look like shit. Strip everything back. Who are you? I want to be personally well kept as well. I want to be a great dad. My biggest, most amazing possible thing ever that I could do in my life is have a child with my wife. And why would I not try to be the best version of me? I don't want my child to grow up and be like, and my kid to touch my belly. Like I used to to my stepdad as a joke. Don't touch my fucking belly. It's gonna be rock hard. Get the fuck on out of here, young man. And I want to show my kid that fitness is important. Yeah. It's important to be able to run, because I've been shot at. I've been in shootings. Do you think I want to be the fucking hobbling ass out because I'm overweight? Do you think I want to drag my friend, which I've had to do, who's bleeding because he got shot? Do you want to drag him if I'm overweight? Can't even walk up the stairs? Get the fuck on out of here. I owe it to my life and my. If you can't help your children in a violent situation, you might want to rethink how easy you're making it for a criminal, which I've also been, to take advantage of you. You're a vulnerable target, and I will, if I'm a bad person and I have the mental fortitude to think, who's the weakest link? Lions do all the time. Oh, where's the injured old zebra? If you're overweight, if you're slow moving, if you're limping, you're a victim. If you are not paying attention to your child, you're on your cell phone, you're a victim. And we got a big issue in America with people preying on children and women. And I think the best thing to do is get a fucking gun, learn how to use it, and learn when not to shoot and when to shoot.
Yeah. Even with like the whole fitness thing, like I never understood like why it's okay for people to call me scrawny or skinny and stuff, which is just as offensive.
I'm glad. Yeah, thank you. I am scrawny, you fat fuck.
Yeah, just as offensive as saying like, dude, you're overweight. But no matter how you say it, somebody would take offense to it. Mm-hmm. Like, I've had these conversations before. I don't even have time for them now. Like, I don't even get into it. But like, I've had conversations, and people don't understand where I'm coming from. And trust me, I get it. I know how hard it is to lose weight because I know how hard it is to gain weight.
It's so fucking hard.
It's nearly. I have a fast metabolism. It's nearly impossible. People be like, "Well, here's your solution. You should eat more." Wow, you know what? I've been doing this all wrong. Tell me more. But it's like, I just feel like if I'm not working towards it though, that I don't care enough by myself. I don't care enough about myself. Yeah. Because like if I'm hard on myself like you are. If I'm like struggling to look at myself in the mirror, not because of what I look like, because I know that I could have done more to get to where I want to go, then that's when you're just looking side to side, and then that's when you make up excuses like, oh, well, you should just love your body for what it is. God gave you that option for a reason. Yeah,
it actually is in the Bible. I've read the Bible probably about 30 times, and I every now and then I remember something from it.
Don't we all? Just one or two.
Just one or two. Like every now and then, like it's really hard for me to tap back into that because I'm not as religious as I used to be. Mm-hmm. It's great to know that in the Bible they talk about it. Your body is a gift from God, and you deserve. And pastors preach it. Stop eating food that's going to make you fat if you feel fat. If you feel skinny and underweight, eat food to feel great. You do not need to be on this earth a single day and not love yourself. And that's what I think. I come off pretty harshly a lot of times because I speak very vulgarly. I speak with bad words. I can't even do a word. I'm sorry. My brain is dead today.
Yeah.
And I sound very harsh and mean, and I don't want to do that. And if you feel that way, guys, listen, and I apologize. But I really do want everybody to understand that it's your responsibility to take care of your body. Stop making excuses. Stop making yourself weak. You are literally making yourself weak. You're not just making yourself a target. You're making yourself weak.
Yeah.
You deserve to be empowered. Yeah. We can't empower women. We can't empower men and children and transsexual, whoever you are.
Yeah.
You can't empower anybody if we don't support each other. And the best way to do that is to tell your friend, hey, bro, I know you really care about yourself. I don't want you to eat that because I need you to put that down because you have a goal. Me and my mechanic is one of my biggest supporters when it comes to fitness. He allows me to eat my food at work. Mm-hmm. I eat 7 meals a day. So and I drink a gallon and a half of water a day. Yeah. So you can imagine I pee a lot and I eat a lot. And I work really hard.
Yeah.
But, he helps me out. We need people to support each other. If I don't have knowledge and I don't share with the world, I'm a piece of shit.
It's like we have, I call it the crab in the barrel mentality. Mm-hmm. Like, people pick and choose who they support. Like, not to throw anyone under the bus, but like, I don't get as much love from like everything I'm trying to accomplish from, like the people you expect to be doing that. And like, you get people who get discouraged from that. Like, when you post something and you're like, hey, can you repost this? And they're like, nah, bro, I'm good. Or, I support you, asshole. But I'm not doing that. It's like, well, what am I even doing this for? Because like, I'm doing this because I want to share this with you. Like, I want to get to this point. So like one of my biggest dreams is to buy a yacht. Like, I don't want to just be on the boat. Yeah, I don't want to be on a yacht, just sitting on the edge of it, just looking out in the water by myself. Like, I want to have everybody there with me, but like
a powerful unit.
Yeah,
the
for
structured
sure.
one
For sure.
that can move forward. I don't, if my circle isn't growing as I grow, whether it's just me physically or not,
Yeah.
we have problems. So in our house right now, we're doing a fitness challenge with Total Nutrition Linwood, and everybody's doing it. The 9-year-old is doing it.
Oh man.
He ran 10 miles the other day, or he walked and ran 10 miles yesterday.
Sheesh, I need to get back
He's
on
trying
the
to
track.
lose. He's trying to lose the most weight in the challenge.
Okay.
And then we have the older brother, who is trying to gain the most weight in the challenge, and then you have me, who's definitely gaining the most weight in the challenge.
Yeah.
So,
you
but
see
like
the difference
when
there?
we sign up,
Yeah.
we all do it as a
Yeah.
unit, because if I don't love my body, how am I supposed to expect anybody else to? If I don't help other people love their body, they can't either.
Yeah.
And it is our responsibility as adults to make the younger people in our communities, not the fucking millennials and boomer, whatever. We'd have to support the youth.
Yeah.
If we're not helping them have the best body ever, we're not great. And an easy way to put this in perspective for people who don't like fitness is, how fuckable do you want to be, or to say, my mom used to say, you want to look like a ragamuffin if I didn't comb my hair in the morning, and it's just, and I used to get till I looked unkept, and so I kept myself kept, and I do the same thing with my body now. If my body isn't up to par, I'm unhappy personally, so it's my responsibility to do something about it. We owe it to ourselves.
Yeah, and people, that's when people start to get confused. Like, I don't care what you believe in, what you like, whatever. But like, that's when you find people who are like, well, I'm heavy set, no man's ever gonna love me, so I'm just gonna date a girl. And like, it's a very real thing. Like, people just don't really think about it. Like, I can find a girl who looks similar to me who doesn't care because she has the same standards that I do, so I'm just gonna settle for that.
No, don't settle. You deserve the best.
Exactly.
Everybody deserves the best, and we're in America. In America, you can be gay and love whoever you want.
Yeah.
And in other countries, you get thrown off of buildings.
Yeah.
Literally thrown off of buildings for being who you are, and everybody deserves to be who the fuck they are.
Yeah.
If you don't like something about yourself, that's not who you are. Then do something about it. You can do it.
Yeah.
Information's free. There's YouTube workouts. There's YouTube diets. It teaches you how to do even keto. I don't like it very much, but like, there's ways to learn this shit, and it's your responsibility to do it. It's your responsibility if your child's overweight and going to grow up with physical issues.
Yeah.
We all are responsible for every young person we see. If I don't tell the kids at my wife's brother's school that, hey man, it's not cool to say I'm going to fuck this nigga up after school when I'm just there stopping by, and if I don't tell them that, then I'm failing my community. Yeah. We all need to step the fuck up.
Yeah, for sure.
real. Do you lift weights a lot for school and stuff like that?
Like during school, like
for basketball, like the squats, power cleans.
I wouldn't say I lifted to get bigger, like even falling into like the mentality, like that's what I told. So I convinced myself, like, I'm meant to be skinny. So I was like, I don't even want to get bigger and stuff like that. Completely false. So I would just lift for like more so a explosion and to get stronger, but it wasn't ever to like get wider and fill into the frame, because I hit my growth spurt like my 9th grade year.
Yeah, you grew like a motherfucker.
Yeah, I was like,
dude, if we were boxing, just fucking around, and you would just you'd reach out and you'd hit me before I would get close to you.
yeah, no, definitely, but like I think I was like 5'6" in the 7th, 8th grade, and then I shot up that summer to 5'10" my 9th grade year. Then I shot up 6 foot my 10th grade year, and then after that it was kind of like smooth, and now I'm getting up to like 6'3", and it's like people would tell me, if you would just get a little bit wider, like how much more effective you could be, and I just brush them off like, oh, whatever, man, I'm good where I'm at, like depending on skill, but I didn't care about it enough or have anyone who cared for me enough to be like, look, stop the BS. You need to get in the gym. It's just as important as putting up shots, because if it doesn't matter how good you can shoot, how good you can dribble, you get some kid from the projects who's just naturally diesel.
He's gonna run your ass over.
He's gonna put your ass on the kid that sits at the end of the bench that doesn't play much except for those situations. He's gonna throw you out there and he's gonna harass you and make you look like pretty much a little girl. and it took me like after I was still pursuing the hoop dream, but I put on 20 pounds in 4 months.
Wow.
Yeah,
Good for you, man.
yeah, I lost it. I lost it all like when COVID and stuff happened, but it took me. I was going for a rebound, and somebody else went for it too, and he literally knocked me out of the ground, and I mean out of the air. I fell, like slid like 5-4 feet.
Like LeBron, every time somebody's uniform touches his uniform.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it took that happen, like me feeling how fragile I was to be like, oh shoot, like they weren't kidding. Like it could be over like that. Like it wasn't just me being weak. It was like me being healthy enough to perform at that high level. Because if you're weak, that means your bones, your joints, your ligaments, you're not stretching. All of that is weak as well. So I completely like see where you're coming from there. And now I try to lift for mass, but
I'd love to help you out with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Post this, but absolutely, man, for real, because your goals are important to me as they are to you. Everybody's goals are important to me, and I'll do everything I can to always support them.
Appreciate that.
But I definitely struggled in high school. I was 100 and probably like 110, 115, 120 pounds.
Yeah.
And we on my roster, right? We were out doing the roster. I said, "Yeah, I weigh 225," and my coach and the whole team looked back, and they were just rolling. They were laughing because Don was a motherfucker. He was laughing. But I definitely was. I had great shoulders.
Yeah.
I had great arms. My abs were. I took it very seriously. I manicured my body as a woman would do her nails, or some guys, whatever the preference is. But
there's nothing wrong with it.
My body was well manicured, and I had great abs. I wanted to be as attractive as possible. I got a lot of attention from the ladies, but I had my eyes set on a certain one. So
had to make sure you
I fucking won. I won that game. Yes. Yeah. But I definitely I struggled with how I was appearing, and I worked on it. And then when it came to sports, I was putting up fucking weight. I was lifting like a motherfucker. We had 2 days sometimes. Sometimes we'd have one gym. There's 2 gym sessions you could attend to during school, and I did both of them. I doubled up, and I ate my protein shakes, and my gas smelled horrible. And but I worked hard. I worked hard to get big, and I'd run at anybody on the field. I don't care how big you are. And we had a big issue on our team with people being pussies and scared to run at people. I'd run at if you got the ball, I'm gonna get to you.
Yeah.
I've shattered some dude's collarbone in playing football. I've knocked people out like a motherfucker. I'll drive straight at the most vulnerable place, the ribs, right under the pads, and I'll put someone in the dirt. And I love doing it because you're able to help your team by hurting people. I just didn't have any fear.
Yeah,
I've already been shot at a few times before that, so I was like, y'all are scared to run at somebody and get run over. I had one time where I got my knee fucked up. My knee was like double the size of the knee because I got launched by this guy who was over 120 pounds heavier than me. But you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
And I had a culture shock because looking around me at everyone, I was like, what are y'all so scared of?
Yeah.
We're here to win.
Yeah.
Run at the person. Hurt them safely for yourself. Don't get hurt too. But get that motherfucker. And one time I got knocked out during a game, and I got discontinued for the next 4 games, and it was really sad for me because I wasn't able to help.
Yeah.
And I'd stay up all night, laying in my bed, and twisting the ball and catching it in just my fingers. I do 100 catches every night, both hands. I'd freaking throw the ball back and forth with my dad until my brain was broken. I did everything I could to win, and it was really tough for me to not be able to play.
Yeah.
And I didn't want that.
Yeah.
And that was how I was trying to avoid the whole season. But I was gone, dude. I got knocked out. I sat up. Everything was blurry. I could see her yelling on the sidelines. She ran behind the goalpost. Like, Eddie. I freaking walk off, and I'm like, I can't see anything.
Where am I?
I can't see anything. I couldn't think all week. All my grades dropped really fast, but I recovered eventually. But I was like, damn, man.
Yeah.
I got to get bigger.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even lift weights, and I was depressed as shit. So.
Yeah, no.
I think it's a necessity to go through life, and if you see something going on, get bigger. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like you said, fuck.
It's definitely humbling though when you go through those. It's sad that it takes for that to happen for us to finally like, all right, I'm gonna fix this. But that's just how it is sometimes.
I look at the saddest parts of my life, and it's when I wasn't able to lift weights or exercise or do something to make my heart speed up. And dopamine get released and serotonin get released from my brain to have like I would call it like a muscle-gasm, like an orgasm before your muscles.
Yeah.
When you get a pump, or when you start running, everything turns red and you're
The
in the
runner's
zone,
high,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, runner's high, and that is a necessity that everybody needs to have. It can stop you from doing drugs. I know people who does. So
Yeah.
when I wasn't lifting, I'm just not me. I'm not me. I'm not healed. Or if I'm not doing some type of fighting or something to get my heart going. But yeah, man, fitness is the key component. So how do you feel about guns? Because I know you know what it's like to be in a community where some people might have some guns, and if you don't, they're gonna take your shit.
Yeah. Shoot. Can you specify the question a little bit?
Yeah, man. How do motherfuckers in the hood, they have guns. Do you think it would be a good idea for people in places like Chicago where you can't own a pistol to be able to defend yourself? You kind of need a gun to stop somebody with a gun from getting you. You don't bring a knife to a gunfight, right?
Absolutely.
Having no gun in a gunfight really sucks too.
Yeah.
I think it's very harmful to the black community, especially, or any community that's poverty stricken, to not have the ability to own firearms. Because what does poverty do? It makes you pressed to go and get money. You're gonna go and rob somebody or steal, break into somebody's house. There's gonna be drugs. There's gonna be people on drugs trying to get in your house too. So, do you think it would be beneficial for people in poverty-stricken areas to learn how to arm themselves safely, learn when not to shoot somebody, and have the fucking gun?
Oh, absolutely. Like, I don't think gun laws they don't do anything but like lock a dog in a kennel and you go to work for 3 days and then you just let the dog out. Like, you're not teaching it anything other than being locked down and shut down and like, you can't do this, you can't do that, as opposed to sitting here and teaching them why you don't need to do those things and why it's important to carry and why it's important not to just shoot someone in this situation. It's I don't know, I just think it's a mindset with anything. Like with me being Native American, like a lot of them get repercussions for everything that they went back through in the day. But like you go in the reservoir and you're not from there, they're assholes. They're flat out assholes. They spend all their money on like brand new cars. So they either have a really nice car and their house looks like a shed, or they have a really nice house and they're freaking pedaling to work or whatever they do. It's because they're just throwing money at them and not teaching them the mindset of financial literacy. So if you're going to throw guns into the community, you need to be throwing the mindset behind it of carrying, knowing what you're doing. Because I come from Virginia, bro. You see a little you see a little 10-year-old out there named Billy. He's hitting that target dead on the spot every single time because it's instilled in him at a younger age, and his father took the time to take him hunting and teach him this about guns, teach him how to clean them, just let him know that it's another piece of you and that it's not used to necessarily harm someone. It's used to protect yourself.
Yeah, it's a tool.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. That's why it's called a tool.
Yeah.
I think it's really important that we look at songs like "Murder to Excellence" by Kanye West and Jay-Z. And it was tough for me to sit there at a young age in high school and listen to that album and listen to the things behind it.
Yeah.
And man, we have to look as people that come in a situation with poverty, or people in a community where there's violence and drugs and people are stressed out for things. We have to look at how we deal with certain issues with more scrutiny.
Yeah.
We cannot tell a community of people, you guys can't own a gun to protect yourself. If there's gunshots and the cops are scared to get out of their cars. I have like 3 big issues I have with gun laws. One, this is America. We have guns for a reason.
Yeah.
It's hard to take over a country. You can ask anybody. Go ask a different country. Do you think your country can take over America? No, you can't, because we have guns. That set aside, not that I think anyone's going to try, but if they did, my house would be the wrong house, because we all got AR-15s, and I have enough magazines to fill up a shed. So, and enough ammo to fill them too.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you in a second. But I also think that we really need to remember that we have women in this country.
Yeah.
We have children in this country. We have men in this country. We have people who literally go out and say, I'm going to go kidnap a child or take a woman and rape her. There's no reason anybody can tell you, as a human being in America, that you cannot have a gun on your person with as many bullets as you need to stop a potential threat. So we look at things like cops, right? Cops are a big thing in America, and a lot of them suck at shooting. If you watch a video with cops, they keep shooting until the threat's stopped. Not until this person is not a threat anymore, until the threat has stopped. If that person still has a knife in their hand, they're going to keep shooting probably. They might be dead. They don't know. They're going to keep shooting until the threat stopped. A lot of cops can't aim very well. It's hard to run and shoot. It's hard to take cover and shoot. It's hard to do everything and shoot. And I know because I practice all of it a lot. And I really take it very seriously. You cannot tell me as a human being that I cannot and my wife cannot use whatever means of form we need to defend ourselves against a threat. Because you know what you're telling me as a government, who's supposed to represent me, quote unquote, you fucking liars. You're supposed to be a representative. How are you going to represent me when I'm dead? Or when my wife is dead? Or when a child is being kidnapped? I'm the first person in any room to not shoot at someone who doesn't deserve it. And I'm the last person to not pull out my gun. When I almost had a deadly force encounter this last week with a guy with a knife, and I made a decision that I did not need to intervene. And having that lens of scrutiny needs to happen. You don't have that lens of scrutiny for all these new gun owners just bought shit. You wonder why. You wonder why there's active shooters in America, because people prey on the weak. They think, they got gun laws here, so you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go to a school and try to kill kids.
Yeah, you've never seen an active school shooting on like Area 51 or something like that.
Yeah.
Or the White House.
People show up to naval bases and try to and army bases try to shoot them. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? That's what insanity is. But I still can't understand how people would not want you to be able to defend yourself. I have a wife and I have a mom, and my wife's got a mom. I have a sister. I want everybody. Me personally, I want my women in my life to have every form to defend themselves. Now, I'm not saying they need to carry an AR-15 in their purse, because it's not going to work. That's a big ass purse.
Pocket rocket launcher.
A pocket rocket. But you better believe I got my gun with me 24/7. Now, if I'm drinking, that changes. But I do have a less than lethal form to defend myself. I have a taser. I have a stun gun. I got OC spray. I got a couple of things. I got a tourniquet, so if I shoot somebody, I can stop them from bleeding out, so they can be justly dealt with. I got zip tie cuffs on me wherever I am, so I can arrest somebody, do a citizen's arrest, and stop that person from needing to be shot more, because I value all life. If we all, I don't know, if one person in a family took this approach, I think we could intervene in some of these active situations, because there's nothing worse, and I'm saying this from experience, there's nothing worse than being in a situation without a gun where you need one. They say it in movies, rather have one than not need it, and not need it than need it and not have it. You don't get caught. Don't get caught lacking, motherfucker. Do not get caught lacking, especially in the hood. Fuck that. I got people eyeing me in the hood. You know what I do? They fucking, when I know shit's gonna fucking pop off, I'm like, okay, I just readjust my shirt and they see my piece and they fucking leave me alone. You don't need to. You always pull out your shit and be. Oh, look at me, I'm a threat. Get away from me, motherfucker. No. There's ways to also anticipate bad things happening. So I try to do it as much as possible. Have you thought about getting a piece in the future?
Oh, absolutely. I want to get my concealed carry, and then just definitely want to, like, I have a friend who's in infantry, and he was like, yeah, man, I'll take you shooting whenever. Like, just want to learn from a professional, not just, watching movies like Scarface. I don't want to just be running around like that.
If you hold it at the hip and you just spray and pray, you might shoot your kids.
Yeah.
So don't do that.
No, but I think it is a necessity. Or even if, like, you just, like, my mom hates guns. Well, then why aren't you in mixed martial arts? And, like, why aren't you, carrying even pepper spray? Because that's like being sprayed with hell. Like, literally, someone just pours lemons in your eyes, bro.
Someone definitely, it's like the devil pissing in your eyes.
Yeah, because those things are very realistic, and like you said, like, nobody expects them to happen until they actually happen. So I definitely agree with you on that.
I want to have a day where we practice getting sprayed in the face and how to deal with it at my house. with a few of my friends. And I want to film it to see how funny it is, because a lot of people don't know that shit hurts.
Yeah,
man.
I haven't done it yet, but I've seen like grown man cry, like macho.
You can't see shit.
No emotion.
Your eyes are swimming.
You are done. And there's been instances when I've seen cops like spray people and they still keep going. Like they're possessed. Yeah, I don't know what they're smoking, but yeah, it's just like me, I would never take a life unless I necessarily had to. Like similar to you, like I don't play about my girls, I don't play about my boys, and I don't play about my nephews. So,
your family,
like, yeah. So,
yes, sir. Fuck yeah, man. Well, I got a couple ones to show you. So this is my AR-15.
Oh man, I didn't even see that there. See, I would have been looking late.
It's unloaded. See, I'm showing you it's clear and safe right here. Nothing in there. It's on safe, so just don't point it at me, please. So common practices that I usually do: I keep my finger off the trigger unless I'm ready to fire.
Mm-hmm.
I don't aim it at anything I'm ready to shoot.
Yeah.
Unless I want to shoot, I don't. I always treat it like it's loaded, and I always anticipate what's behind it. So if I'm shooting some green tip, I'm probably not gonna aim it at my buddy's house, because it might go through a wall and kill somebody else, which is bad.
So this is to adjust the.
That's just the stock right there. It's got a really nice sight to look through. Go ahead and check that out. This amplifies the sight so you can see closer or further, and then you don't close any eyes. You just look so you can see out of your other eye what threats are around you.
I actually learned that from shooting bows.
Yeah, bro, it's cool. It's cool stuff. I used to do archery as well.
Yeah,
it's quite a beautiful craft.
It's a lot harder than what it looks too.
Oh god,
you feel like you're pulling it back. You feel all strong, and then it goes 2 inches.
Drops. Oh man, I learned a lot of lessons at camps and stuff as a child. It was really fun.
This is awesome. So, what would you say an average AR-15 costs?
Well, it depends on what you get.
Okay.
So you can go and get one of these name brand ones that cost a bunch of money because you want to be good in a firefight, or you can get one that is just as effective, just normally.
Yeah.
So that one cost me about, I would say, $700 to put together, and people are gonna probably be like, "What the fuck?" Well, I put it together piece by piece. So the lower receiver, which is the part that has a serial number on it, right here. That was like $50. It's an Anderson lower receiver, so it's stripped. There's nothing on it at all.
Okay.
The finisher build kit was probably about $160. The upper receiver, which is this entire upper piece right here, down there was $300. It's a Daniel Defense one. It's just it's one of the off-brand. It's not one of the Daniel Defense official blah blah. It's one of their off not as special ones.
Yeah.
So it's a little cheaper. And then I got that plastic piece right where your hand is.
Right here.
Yep. That keeps your hand from getting too overheated and burning.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then and it's also got a flashlight. When you press that tab right in front of it. Right in front of your thumb. Right up here, brother.
Oh, right here?
You press this. It's really fucking bright. See, that's where you hold the rifle. So I can clear a house pretty good with that thing.
Okay.
And then it's got a muzzle brake on the front of it. So it disperses gas in other ways so that I don't have as much kickback.
Okay.
And which is pretty effective and is great. But I can use that for 500 yards or 50 yards or right in my house. I don't care.
So what would you say, where did you get your knowledge or training of guns from?
I decided that when I got out of the Navy, I was like, when I got my apartment, I was like, I need guns. I need fucking guns. I need guns right now. Yeah. I need guns. And I didn't have a lot. We didn't have a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like, transitioning out of the Navy is one of the hardest things that I ever have done. And I was, what the hell am I doing? I should have stayed for another 2 years at least. Had a plan, like you have a plan, and I would have fucking not sucked at life.
Yeah.
So it was really definitely tough. But I knew I needed them. I knew I had a necessity to be able to defend myself and my family. And I've always loved guns. I've never been afraid of handling weapons. And I've always valued handling weapons as well. I learned completely self-taught.
Okay.
I took the time to learn the knowledge. It's not hard to find information. You got Tim Kennedy with Sheepdog Response. You got Costolutus. You get to learn all the cool John Wick reloads where he flips it off his body and smacks a new mag in and fucking slaps it and moves forward. There's a bunch of cool stuff.
YouTube University,
man. But I also have a lot of people who use guns in a form of occupation. I have cop buddies who will harp on me and tell me to do this because it'll make me shoot faster. I have people who will break down police shootings
Yeah.
and explain to me. I got a great guy, Thomas Arnold, I have him on my podcast. I fucking love that guy. He's always sending me stuff, telling me what the cops did wrong, because he used to teach the cops in our region how to be cops and not idiots. He also has never shot somebody who didn't need to be shot, so it's cool. And he helps me out. I got a couple of guys in MARSOC, Marine Special Operations, who reach out to me that I went to school with, and I got a Marine up the street all the way who definitely has taught me a lot. So then I just put it into practice, and they scrutinize me. I take videos and I put them up on the internet to be scrutinized because I want them to be better. I want to be better, and they want me to be better.
Yeah.
And the gun community, they're pretty brutal. They'll be like, "You need to do this differently." And I'm like, "Okay." No emotion, just okay. Sounds good, and I make it my goal to do that. And then I start buying things like this, like little nice, sexy gun belts with spare magazines to put on, and I got an M&P shield with a light and a laser right here. See, for nighttime, dude. And so, like, you start putting together your gun kit so you can reload your gun faster instead of putting a magazine in your pocket and fumbling and getting shot, or your wife being killed in front of you, which is not a thing that I want to happen to me.
As far as your holsters, I know a really good company that to check out, Eclipse Holsters.
Holsters, I gotta write it down right now.
Yeah, that's actually my godparents' their own business. She started bootstrapping. Now they're pushing. God knows how much money through they're small business owners, but they're doing pretty well.
If it's not a small business, I don't like them.
Yeah, so
I didn't go to Walmart anymore. I say fuck them.
Yeah, I got you. Well, I do have two questions as far as like a little more on the politics side.
Absolutely.
So, what is the like outcry and why are so many people upset about Joe Biden being in office? So I kind of have an idea, but I don't know like word for word on the paper the laws of like why so many people who love their guns are upset about some of the things that he's doing.
I'd love to answer that, brother. So I think there's a lot of moving parts with this, right? Because this is all of America. But from my perspective, why I personally am, and why some of my friends that I've experienced, and we talk about it. We don't like hate anybody, but we very much dislike him because this is the same person that got on national television and said, "You don't need an AR-15," and he called it a 14. You don't need an AR-14. So this person off the rip is talking out of his ass. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
He has Alzheimer's. I don't care what anybody says.
If he doesn't, and you want me to have this motherfucker my president, you tell me he doesn't even know what to say. I love you, honey.
Gotcha.
But like, no one should ever sit there and tell me that you're gonna take my AR-14s. The fuck? I don't have those. So am I good?
Yeah.
And when they talk about AR-15s, they don't ban AR-10s, so I can get a scar, but not this. Okay. And then they call it an assault rifle. Couple things about that. Assault weapons ban. A weapon is not an assault weapon unless you're assaulting people with it. It's a defense tool. And it's my defense tool, bitch. Get your words, get your legislation away from how I protect myself because I am an American. I've paid the fucking price. You're paying the price right now of servitude to your country. To if you're not American and you sign up, you earn your citizenship through service. I am an American. I've paid the price. I can say I'm a veteran. I've supported this country. It's time for me to support myself and protect my family. I'm not here to defend America anymore. I'm here to defend my family. So whatever I choose to put in place as defensive things, security cameras only work so far. And if it takes the cops 23 minutes to get to my house, this is off personal experience, when someone is trying to break into my house past my wife, and the guy's got 100 pounds on my lady, what the fuck is she going to do? She needs to have that gun on her. And she did.
You and I both probably being from a MMA background, 2 minutes is a long ass time to be fighting somebody you don't want to be fighting.
I hate fighting.
2 minutes.
With size, I fought people with a lot of size on me, and it really, people can be like, oh yeah, I beat up anybody. No, it's hard.
No.
It's hard. Getting hit sucks. Being moved ferociously and slammed by someone who's been carrying around their heavy ass body for a while, like me. I'm more accustomed to 200 now. Before I was like, oh, I'm fucking weak. Now, if I get angry and move and something flies, like it's scary. But her versus that guy, I wouldn't want to know the outcome, honestly, because I don't know. But with a gun, the situation is equal. Joe Biden has said that we need capacity bans on a rifle and a pistol and some pistols, and they're trying to push the legislation. Now, I can tell you this, right? So I'm going to show you a couple. This is why I brought these out.
Mhm.
So this is a 10-round magazine, right?
Okay.
If it's 10 bullets in it, it's 10, right?
Mhm.
This is a 30-round, fully loaded magazine for AR-15. There's 30 of this in there. So when I shoot my guns, it doesn't go grrr, okay? It's a semi-automatic. It just goes every time I pull the trigger, a bullet flies. Now, if I'm under attack in my house, or if I'm on the street and there's a shooting going on, and somebody who has a 30-round magazine, 60-round drum, 100-round drum, or an AK with a 100-round drum, and it's bought off the streets illegally, which is what criminals do.
Yeah.
They buy guns illegally, right? They don't care. They don't care what your laws are. They're here to break the laws and shoot people, right? So when that person starts dumping in a drive-by, and I have a decision to defend my children or not, I don't need to shoot 10 shots, have to stop, fumble, and in my pocket, in my waistband, get another magazine. And now I'm stressed out because I'm worried about where my kids are. And I'm hearing gunshots hit my glass windshield as I tell my kid to duck down as I'm reloading my gun, as my wife is screaming, as I'm pulling her down past me, as I'm taking shots to my shoulder, trying to reload my gun. Again, I want to keep shooting until the threat's stopped. Cops have average of 17 rounds, I believe, in their gun with Glock. They got mostly standard issue Glock 17, 17 rounds. This says 10. They're trying to tell me I can only have 10 in here. If a cop walks around, open carrying, badge and a gun, and can get gunned down in the streets, you better believe so can I. And so can my wife, so can you, so can Jesus, so can Joe Biden. Not that that's a threat. I'm just saying it's a fact. People can get gunned down. That's why there's Secret Service. That's why all these Hollywood people who are rich have security. That's why all these politicians have Secret Service that can go with them, who are armed. You cannot tell me, as a politician who's supposed to represent me, that your life matters more than me. Because you can have protection paid for you by my tax dollars, you fuck, and I cannot protect myself. However, now it's a problem because he says we do not need something like this. This is an AR-15, right? So when I hold this, I'm holding a tool. I'm not holding a gun. Now, if a criminal holds this, he's holding a weapon. He's holding a threat to somebody. There's a big difference. Telling me that I can't own any type of firearm or any capacity of magazine is calling me guilty. And you think a law is going to stop an active shooter? You've lost your mind. There's no legislation, and I'm tired of people standing on the dead bodies of people like Sandy Hook, like the nightclub in Florida, the gay nightclub that was a hate crime. I'm tired of people standing on dead bodies of people that died at Las Vegas, saying that we cannot own these if I haven't committed a crime. You're calling me guilty, and in America, that's not how shit goes down. So that's why I personally believe are some of the reasons. There's obviously some people just don't like him. And I don't care for those people because you don't like him. Oh well, who cares? Mind your business. But I do not like anyone telling me that I need to have less ways to protect my family or me. And I've been in the spots. I've been shot at. I don't like it.
That's not fun.
I had to dive and tackle my wife to the ground when there was a drive-by shooting a couple months ago. Like, it's real. Life was real life. And they're living in this little bubble. This bubble. And in this office where we don't matter. We do not. We literally, they can say we matter. We do not matter to them because they have no idea. They're out of touch. They've lost they're career politicians, spent their whole life in an office getting paid by our tax dollars. They don't have to deal with real life. And
you know the crazy part about that? I found this out recently that I believe if you're a senator, you get paid a salary of $400,000 a year for doing one term.
Ain't that a bitch? Ain't that a bitch? Ain't that a bitch?
But I could
it's like 1 million or something like that. I don't know.
I could serve and get out right now, and the Navy would not pay me $1 after I get out. So that's pretty crazy. So my second, since we're on the topic of cops, people do really, this kind of ties into it. People are really, like, I guess, unaware of how real it is. Like, even for cops to get shot and stuff like that. And people were screaming, like, defund the police, and stuff like that. Do you feel like it would be better to, as opposed to just taking the money away, and putting the money into better training, or how do you feel about that topic?
I think there's a lot of ways to make this better. And I've asked cops, I've asked people who hate the cops. I hope this is received by our listeners as a well-formed opinion. So we have a lot of moving parts here. We got people saying that we got to abolish the police.
Yeah.
If a community comes together and says we got to get rid of the cops, and they have to deal with the repercussions of those actions, that's what they have to do.
Yeah.
You can talk about what it's like. Something that's not going to be. They're talking about Trump doing in Mar-a-Lago. You know what they're not talking about right now? The crime rates that have skyrocketed in New York.
Jeez. It's like,
And
wasn't
Atlanta.
It over like 200% or
I
something?
think at one point it reached like 800% up in murders.
Sheesh.
But when you defund the police, I'll tell you what happens. You remember in the Navy when they cut funding?
Mhm.
Where does the funding get cut from usually?
Us.
Yes, at the lower level, right?
Yeah.
The training, but the big people at the top
Yeah.
who are telling people to do these practices
Mhm.
usually keep what they got going on.
Yeah.
And so does the city that controls them. So if your city council says, or your mayor says, I don't want these people to march down the street holding signs, the police are going to do what they're told, because at the end of the day, they're at the bottom of the totem pole.
Yeah.
They do what they're told. Now, when you have a group of people saying all cops are racist,
Mhm.
you might need to reevaluate that statement.
Mhm.
Not all cops
Yeah.
are racist. Some cops are just doing what they're told to do.
Mhm.
Some cops are definitely fucking
Yeah.
racist. I've been there, man.
Yeah.
I've had a shotgun put in my face while my dad got kicked the shit in front of me by his Tacoma Police Department. There was no body cams in that day and age.
Yeah.
I've been there. I've been the victim. Shotgun, 16, fucking slammed in my face. My jaw was fucking purple. So I understand where it comes from.
Mhm.
There are a lot of people who having a lot of life experiences, and they get bullied their whole life, and they said they want to make sure people aren't bullied. They become a cop, and then they become a bully. It's sad.
Yeah.
Now, the same thing happens in the military. Same thing happens in schools. High school doesn't ever end. When you're in high school, it keeps going forever. People turn into the same people.
Yeah.
It's hard to change. That's why I try really hard to change. When you look at the cops and you say, we need to defund the police, they're going to pull it from training. They're going to pull it from training. You tell the cops they don't need assault weapons, or, is what they're saying. You don't need military style weapons. Well, if you don't want us to have any style weapons that are related to the military as citizens, and the cops either, who the fuck do you think is going to have them then? The National Guard and the military, and the criminals who don't give a fuck what you say. So do you want us to be more vulnerable? And I don't know how many people don't get this. It's really that serious. It's that simple. This is not an emotional thing. This is a factual thing.
Yeah.
So facts really do not care about your feelings, and a criminal is a criminal. When you have the police defunded and the training goes down, and the good cops are going to be like, oh, we're under scrutiny, or when you got piss thrown in your face and you're a good cop, you're not going to want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
Because you might get hepatitis and things like that. So a lot of good cops quit the force.
Yeah.
A lot of black cops were laid off first when they got defunded. Do their Black lives matter? Absolutely. Everybody's lives matter in every situation. There are no blue lives. Whoever says there are, they're fucking retarded.
Yeah.
It's your job, bitch. Sorry. But like I said, I'm not calling people retarded as far as, that. I probably should use different words.
Yeah, no.
That's the first one that comes to mind because I'm still in high school. So you can't defund the police effectively like that. Now, what you should do is train them more.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely investigate every single, use of force that's not justified.
Yeah.
Body cams are the best thing that's ever happened to America, because I can go on YouTube right now to police activity channel and watch these body cam instances.
Yeah.
I can get a great perspective on what cops have to deal with and why they act the same way.
Yeah.
You don't become a normal person going through a domestic violence situation and wanting it, or coming up on a child who's being raped.
Yeah.
And then you don't get to go home and be normal.
Yeah.
You're traumatized, and people deal with trauma poorly all the time. I do it very poorly. So we got a lot of moving factors with this police issue. I would say we do not need to defund them. I think that we need to we need to make them an independent organization. We need to get rid of the city's handhold in it.
Yeah.
I think that if a community as a team says we do not want police in our town,
they need to step up and become the police.
Then get rid of them.
Yeah.
Okay, get rid of them. If you want to get rid of them, get rid of them. But do not come crying like a little bitch to me and the rest of the people in my community saying you need more money to put together a new police force like they did in Minneapolis.
Is that the place where they like shut all like pretty
Yeah,
much
bro.
shut the city down?
Bro,
and then-
dead bodies in the streets. I have friends over there, and it's horrific. Could you imagine? So
Is it still bad over there?
yeah, it's so bad. I want you to think about something, right? It's going to be kind of like a I just exercise a lot,
Mhm.
where I weigh out the outcome of things. So if you get rid of, when I look at police, what do you see? When you see them with the lights on and all these things, you think of, you think of the cops. You think of, he's got a gun, got a badge, cop sirens. They got canines, which a lot of people are scared of.
Yeah.
For a good reason. Those teeth are vicious. But they're I love canines though.
Yeah.
Funny,
pretty dope.
funny videos to watch on
Yeah.
YouTube. Canine takedowns are pretty good.
Yeah.
But that being put aside, you look at the cops. You see the lights, badges, fucking the police, big letters, projection of power, just like the military does, right?
Mhm.
Now, that thing, the thin blue line, a lot of people don't know what it's about. There's this really, really thin barrier in society that says anarchy, order, right? Those are the two things on each side. There's this thin line that says we're retribution. We're gonna hold you accountable because y'all motherfuckers want to run around and act crazy. You want to run around and loot a store that a black-owned business that someone spent their whole life doing, like in Capitol Hill.
Mm-hmm.
You want to hold people in the chop, basically, and raid their shop for stuff because you took over the area. They're the ones that stop that shit from happening. They're the thing that says, you think about that? It's not going to happen because we're here. Oh, fuck, we got to deal with the cops. We can't rob this bank because the cops might get us.
Yeah.
They're the risk factor in every criminal's mind. Now, when you remove that, what does that tell pedophiles and rapists and us people who go and shoot up schools, walk in a movie theater and kill people? People who walk into a store in Colorado and just start dumping. They're dumping until they're just going to keep dumping, and then they're going to walk out and leave. No one's going to do the ballistic report. Nobody's going to run fingerprints and all this shit and find out who killed these people. And you expect me to trust the federal government? You expect me to trust any government after they bomb Black Wall Street? You expect me to trust the government after the incident with Rosewood? I'm not going to trust the government to keep me safe. But what I am going to do is I'm going to expect my tax dollars that go to the police and the fire department and all that stuff to have this thing telling criminals you can't do this because you're going to get shot by somebody with a gun. Yeah. If you're going to a store and you start shooting, I hope if I'm there, you better expect to get fucking gunned down, because I'm going to do it before the cops do it, probably, because they're going to have this slow ass response time. Yeah. Because when you call 911, someone's going to have to pick it up. They're going to be like, okay, I need you to calm down. I need you to tell me your address. They're going to be like, I'm getting shot at. What do I do? I don't know what to do. Yeah, you don't know what to do.
Oh, it's scary. Can you just hold up real quick? Can you quiet down?
Stop shooting that child. I need to tell the police where you are.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like
What gun is that again? Is that AR-15? Okay, thanks.
He said it's an AR-15. It looks like an AK-47. I don't know what that is, but yeah. He's shooting slowly, methodically, one bullet per person. That shit doesn't happen. Yeah. That's a false. Mm-hmm. We live in a false sense of security because we have police. Yeah. We think that the movies will tell us that this is how it goes down. Cops aren't John Wick. They're not gonna run up and dust off the society. Cops get gunned down running. Yeah. Cops run into burning buildings. I got a lot of perspective having police friends. Yeah. And losing friends through the military was the perspective builder. Yeah. We need people to intervene. And if you, as a person, do not want to carry a firearm, then don't. I'll carry it and I'll shoot somebody that tries to kill you. I will. I don't even have to know you. Yeah. Yeah, they're getting shot. If they're trying to stab you or kill you, I'm going to shoot this person. If you're in front of me and you're stabbing somebody, you might get shot. Well, I'm going to give you a verbal warning first with my gun out. But if you continue to stab somebody in front of me, you're getting blasted. It is what it is. Yeah. I'm not going to allow life to be taken in front of me. And no one should be okay with it. Yeah. When you tell the police you don't want them, you're telling the criminals they can do what they want. Yeah. When you tell the people that they can't have guns, you're letting the criminals know what they want. Yeah. Yeah. The outcome to this situation is not 1 + 1 is 3. It's 1 + 1 is 2. So you have two issues right here. If you do those two things, the answer is not going to be safety, which is 3. It's going to be 2. The criminals go crazy. Yeah. So we really got to look at this from a different perspective.
And
And
it's
we need to have these conversations that you and I
Yeah.
have right now
Yeah.
because that's just my opinion. My opinion is based off fact, so it probably is a good opinion,
Mhm.
but I might be wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never had no police. Now I tell you what, I've had a lot of bad issues with police. I had, I don't like a lot of, but that's my
Yeah.
issue with the people,
Yeah.
not the police.
Yeah.
For me to say that all cops are bad or all cops are inherently bad or whatever is just as stupid as saying all
Mhm.
white people are racist or all black people are racist
Mhm.
or all black people women have bad attitudes
Yeah.
or all we cannot broad stroke situations. I really appreciate when Star Wars had a title, a phrase they said in episode 3. They said, Obi-Wan said, only a Sith deals in absolutes. Only a bad person deals in absolution, right? If I look at you and say, oh yeah, you're black, you must be good at basketball, drink watermelon, Kool-Aid, and chicken, and you must have illegal guns. You must live in the hood. You probably slur your words and drink 40s. And do you have a do-rag? Why aren't you wearing? You know how stupid that sounds?
Yeah.
It sounds literally unintelligent, and it shows that I don't value you as your person. That should be a red flag. If anybody says we need to get rid of all these cops,
Mhm.
we really gotta look at that person and say, is this person gonna honestly be a good form of human being?
Yeah.
One, have kids and tell them these things, because I got told growing up that all white people are racist, and I married a white woman. So apparently not.
Yeah.
But I have had run-ins, but we can't deal in absolution, man. It's
Yeah.
not good. So that's my opinion. I don't think we should.
Yeah.
I think we should train them more, and we should also.
Definitely.
We do need police reform.
Mhm.
We do need to
Repercussions.
fucking
Yeah.
harp on motherfuckers.
Yeah.
We can go up and down any street and talk about George Floyd.
Yeah.
You're gonna have 100 different answers.
Yeah.
You're gonna have the fact of the matter is this: cops make mistakes. Cops make bad calls. People fold under pressure.
Yeah.
I've seen people fold under pressure in the worst times, and they paid the price with their life.
Even speaking on that, how important like the skill aspect of it is. Like when all of this was going on, I think not too many people even know about it. It was like 3 weeks ago, a cop in New Mexico got gunned down, like shot like 8 times, and then shot in the back of the head. Yeah, just for a traffic stop.
Wow. Well, it's not on the news?
Yeah, no.
Why?
No. Who knows? No big anything that, but it's like if you can see it, like you look into it, it's the same situation as people quote unquote the cop who hit the wrong house and just shot some random lady sitting on her couch. Mm-hmm. No, people just don't understand.
Was fucking crazy in her own home.
Yeah, but
so that she should be, it's called murder. Yeah.
So the thing with that is like that's the situations are kind of like the same. Not too many people know that the owner of the house shot first, and then the person who and quote unquote killed her just like reacted and sprayed everywhere. So the reason why he was being prosecuted was because he had the training, and pretty much I think the captain said there is no reason that he should have responded the way he did based off of the shot. So it wasn't the fact that he ran in there and just shot some random black lady. It was the lack of training for him not to. You do the repetition. You should know better, but
what's crazy about this since you brought up training, it's very special because in the Navy they teach us like training. They run through it once and he's good now.
Yeah,
he's good.
Yeah,
sign the paper so we can get more government funding. He's qualified. We don't need more time.
Yeah,
they rush it. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure the cops do the same thing.
I'm almost certain.
A barber is more skilled at their profession than an officer is at theirs. Did you know that?
A barber?
Yeah, if you Google the hours, anyone can see that a barber is required to have more hours of training than police do.
Sheesh.
So you'd imagine issuing somebody a firearm, and we talk about we need more de-escalation training, all these things. The fuck? Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Defund them? Where do you think the funding comes from? Training. From training. They cut the funding at training. They're still going to have that gun.
Yeah.
They're still going to have the spare mags, the cuffs, OC spray, the taser, which is supposed to be kept on the other side. And you should know not to grab both of them.
Yeah.
You can't cut it. Someone died because of that, so you're stupid.
Yeah.
But
I think there was funny enough, a TikTok,
happened.
A cop talking about that, like the taser's supposed to be on your...
Yes. You're supposed to have to reach around to your other side so you can grab it like this. You can't grab with the left. Some people wear it and just straight left-handed, but it's supposed to be on the other side of you.
Sheesh.
There's no
Yeah.
reason to ever reach for a gun and grab a taser. It feels quite differently. I
Yeah.
promise you, it feels
Yeah.
differently. One feels like a gun.
Really? You think so?
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
I don't know.
Jesus Christ. But
Yeah, man.
we definitely need to absolutely train more, but hold them accountable. I'm not
Oh yeah.
looking at this from one angle. We need to hold them accountable. Tim
Yeah.
Pool is if you should listen to anybody, it should be Tim Pool. And I
Mhm.
definitely I'm gonna write him down. You should definitely look at him because he is a investigative journalist.
Mhm.
He used to be one, and now he runs his own channel.
Yeah.
And he just covers the news, tells you when they're lying,
Mhm.
cross references it, talks about, reminds us who we are as Americans and what our rights are. It's
Yeah.
definitely necessity.
Yeah, man. I think there should be a lot more as far as that goes. That like filtering,
Mhm.
like go through and actually assess someone outside of the police force, like someone coming in. I believe this should happen in the military too. Come through, put on a uniform or whatever. Just watch. I'm new. And then just write it down, catch that person, like, oh, should I do it like this? And it's like, nah, that's how we're supposed to do it, but this is how we do it. Like just little things you've seen in the military that we do, that they do over there. We should go in and then have that person be like, all right, pull the mask off. All right,
Like
this is,
boss.
yeah, like this is BS. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. He needs to be fired. He shouldn't have even been here in the first place. And then that's when we have people who go on deployments and they jump off in front of the ship. Then we have cops who go home and they're practicing, domestic violence with their wife because they don't know how to cope with the situation that they shouldn't.
They have PTSD.
Yeah, that they shouldn't have
Navy
even been
SEALs,
in the first place.
Absolutely, and even the SEALs, they do a lot of training.
Yeah,
so much training. So fucking much. If anybody knew how much training these motherfuckers do, it's ridiculous.
That's probably why half of them go crazy.
No, they do the training
Yeah.
so that they don't
Yeah.
Go into a building
Mhm.
and they shoot a kid for moving.
Yeah.
And they don't, because these things happen.
Yeah.
Jumping cops is bad, dude. Long story short, I was at work. Fucking altercation goes down between the security guards at transit,
Mhm.
at the Sound Transit place. Or I shouldn't have said that. Oh well. There was an altercation
Yeah.
at this place with Sound Transit security guards. They're just
Mhm.
normal security guards.
Yeah.
They go around. They don't have guns or whatever. They got jumped by 5 people, so they called for the back up for the cops. They get jumped by like 5 people, and they were fast, and they were beating the shit out of them, and they were trying to do their job. They weren't like punching.
Yeah.
Security guards were getting roughed up pretty bad. Call for back up. The cops showed up, but all the sheriffs showed up, all of the police showed up, and from 2 different cities because it was on the border,
Mhm.
and the police got swarmed. One of them started taking off, so I run over to tell the cops because these are my buddies. Security guards are my buddies. So I run over to tell the cops, and I say, "Hey man, blah blah," and this motorcycle cop hits the brakes, kicks his kickstand out, grabs his gun, pulls it out to get to try to tell me to get on the ground and shit like that. And I was like, "Hey, you fuck! They're right there. He's running away, you dumb fuck!" And I start like cussing him out. I was like, "You're gonna pull your fucking gun on me, you're a fucking idiot. You're an idiot. What if I shot you right now?" And I told him, because I got into like a very very serious confrontation with him and with his supervisor. Because I carry like a motherfucker. Yes, Lord, I do. And I said, what? So if he draws his gun and points it at me, I'm gonna just so he knows, like, and he was like, "You're not gonna do shit. I'm a fucking cop." And I said, "Yeah, I am gonna do shit. I'm gonna fucking gun you down. You pull a gun on me again that's unwarranted. Deadly force is authorized on my end. You think I'm stupid?" I said, "I've had more firearm training than you'll ever get. How long have you been on the force? What, 5 years? I definitely have more training than you. It's ridiculous that you are going to pull a firearm on me for no reason. And if you pull a gun on me when it's unwarranted, you better expect to be shot. Every officer should expect to be shot if they pull out a gun wrongfully.
Yeah.
Every human being should expect to be shot if they do that. So having a badge doesn't make you invincible. And you're going to pull up.
A lot of them
not even in this situation. You pull up from your whatever. Fucking siren's wearing, and I'm jogging up to you, waving you down, waving an officer down for help. Hello, I need help. This guy right here just fucking hit a cop with a bag full of something and ran. You should go and get him. He hit your buddy, and you pull out a gun on me. So I gave him the benefit of the doubt, and I'm glad I did, because I don't want to. I don't want to get into shooting.
Yeah.
Shooting suck.
Yeah.
But I told the supervisor, I said, I could have fucking gunned him down, and you know what? Nobody would should have, and then you would have shot me, and guess who would have been determined wrong?
Yeah.
Y'all would have had him fired. You would have been fired. You're a supervisor. Everybody here would have gunned me down, but you know what? My family would have been rich. with taxpayer dollars because he's a little too fucking gun happy. You need to do more training.
Yeah.
And it ultimately, like I told him, I said, "Hey man, we live in a music." It just kept escalating, and his supervisor was like, "Oh, calm down, blah." And he was like getting all buck with me, and I said, "Hey, bitch, take off your badge and your gun. This is a mutual combat state, and we can fight right here, right now. Did you know that, Mr. Law Enforcement? That's a law in our state. We can fight. So if you really want to keep popping shit, you know what? Whatever. And I'll have my boy hold my peace, and we can fucking do this right now." And the cop did not want the smoke. And I'm glad that we resolved this. But it ultimately ended up with him apologizing and him asking the office, the sergeant, to do more training. It's that simple.
Yeah.
I just look at me. I'm a fucking superstar. I just created police reform.
Yeah.
In that instance, but we have to be vocal.
Mm-hmm.
We have to step in when somebody's wrongfully being hurt by the police or by somebody that's not the cops.
Yeah.
It's a big issue in our country.
Yeah. Speaking of training, like even with like the SEALs, like you were mentioning, I didn't even know that they keep their guns on safety at all time until they're ready to shoot.
Oh yeah, bro.
They're so proficient.
Oh, dude,
it's so smooth. It is ridiculous.
What if I show you this, right? So here's my safety, right?
Like it's crazy, but to think that you have the gun on your hip,
and
or you're just walking through,
when you come around the corner,
just
like So two things happen. Comes off safety, finger slides into here, and bang, 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 bang,
and then put it right back on.
And then, they when somebody moves in front of them, they move this, like they move their gun. It's called barrel discipline and trigger discipline. And also using, because your other hand, you don't need this to shoot. You don't need a thumb to shoot. You do need a thumb to go on and off safety.
Yeah.
It's quickly. But, it's all important, knowing how to use this.
Mm-hmm.
Why are cops so crazy with this shit? Why are cops so fucking crazy? I don't get it. I was thinking, the answer's simple. Training.
Lack of training.
Training. Cops should not have to pay for a course to know how to not shoot somebody.
There's no way.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Cops go to sheepdog response and learn when not to shoot somebody, basically.
And they have to pay for it?
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
If we pay out so much money in tax, if Joe Biden wants to raise taxes, why are cops getting trained more? Is my question. Talk about police reform. Talk about shutting down private prisons and all these things, which are great. There's a lot of talking, not a lot of walking.
Yeah. And
I don't like that shit.
Yeah.
I really wanted a better president than Donald Trump, and it seems like we got much worse.
Yeah.
And it's sad.
I saw it coming too. He was just
sad.
Feeding that.
And where's Kamala? Yeah. Oh yeah, the voice of the black people. Where the fuck are you at?
I really haven't heard anything about her since this all went down. Did she
release all the people she locked up as a DA for marijuana charges, which is fucking ridiculous in California? They're still incarcerated. No. Are we gonna get rid of the Are we gonna get rid of all the shit of the 1994 tough on crime bill that Joe Biden and his crew with the Clintons put into place? When can we have real reform in our country? Or are we going to keep letting politicians virtue signal to us? Like, talk about this in the Revolt Summit in Atlanta. And you have to watch it, bro. Everybody listening to this shit should watch it. The Revolt Summit. You will see something crazy. People argue over who the best master is. Fuck who the president is. You need to be in control of the government. You need to tell the government, this is our demands as a community. If you don't meet these demands, you're not getting our vote. Go fuck yourself. I'm voting for anybody but you.
Yeah.
Put pressure on these people's backs, or they're not going to represent you. And that's where we have a failed government. You're right. Yes, we do. We do have a failed government. Democracy is not going to be preserved by just voting blue. Just because the name Democrat does not mean democracy. To preserve our democratic republic, which is what we have in this country of America. A lot of people don't even know that. We have to understand where power sits. It sits with you in that chair across from me, and it sits with me. The people. Power is inherent in the people in our beautiful country of America. Now, we might have some people that are in power that make our country look like shit. Does not mean America sucks. Yeah. Because you can hold hands with somebody who you want to hold hands with, and not be thrown off a building or beheaded. That is the authentic reason that America is great. You can sit there and say "fuck America," and nobody can tell you can't say that. Yeah. You can burn a flag.
Except,
you can take a knee. But... Well, I'm not doing that shit. I'm not doing it. But you can. Yeah. You can knee during the national anthem. You can sit down during the national. You can not even care. You can yell during the national anthem. Am I going to respect you for it? No, because to me it's about people like you who are serving our country and people who've died and what makes America great.
Yeah.
And we do need to make America great again.
Yeah.
And it starts with conversations like you and I are having. It starts with people that say, I fucking hate this place. Say, hey man, why do you think that? Share your perspective so I can care about things that you care about. We don't take the time to do that.
Yeah.
So I do take the time. I talk to the cops. I bother them. I ask them. I make jokes. I talk shit to people who who are Antifa, members of Antifa. I talk shit to them. And I've been.
Know one of those guys?
I on the street. They'll be out there and they'll be harassing me and I'll have my gun on me and they'll be like fucking waving bats and I'll be like, get the fuck away from me, bro.
Yeah.
But
they're wild, bro.
I have to work in some tough environments sometimes. But all jokes aside, I really care about if somebody's saying I think we need to get rid of these cops. What happened to you? Express yourself. I need to hear what made you feel that way so I can have a better perspective because I could be wrong right now and I don't want to be wrong and I want to care about people. We need that. We need conversation. We need to talk. If you do not know your neighbors' names, you're failing if you don't know and if you are mad at them because they have a Trump or a Joe Biden flag and you don't talk to them, you're stupid. Talk to them. Ask them why. You might be wrong. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Just like our parents did with us with wooden spoons.
Yeah.
I learned very quickly not to hit women because I saw it on TV and I was a kid and I thought it was okay to hit somebody when you're upset with them. It's not okay to hit somebody when you're upset or pull out a gun when you lose a fight or a lot of things.
Yeah.
This is not cool, man.
Yeah, no, that is crazy though. Like being in the military, I finally got my first apartment by myself, and then realized what true like solitude was. I was thinking one day, and I was like, "Dang, dude, I don't even know the person that stays on top of me to the person who stays on to the right of me. Like I'm literally living in the same building.
Don't talk with people in apartments.
It was just the concept, but
like in town, your neighbors. In my apartment complex, I knew everybody there. There was a shooting right across the way, like one building over. This old guy got gunned down. That there's a drug deal was going on or whatever. I don't know, but he got fucking shot up, and the cops showed up, and I was on the ground crawling, and I was pissed because I didn't have a gun at this point. I could have intervened from those last few shots being shot. My response time is that fast. Or could have been that fast if I had a gun on me. If I had practiced, unless I practice now. If I hear gunshots in my neighbor's house, you know where I'm headed. Because I love these people in my community. So not being able to intervene really bothered me. That's another. I probably should have mentioned that earlier. That's another reason why I wanted to have a firearm because nobody's safe. And when those shots start entering my home, I have every lawful reason to shoot back, and you can't shoot back when you don't have a gun, or when the government tells you can't own that gun that can reach that far. Because I need this scope on here, on this top of this gun right here, right? It lets me shoot pretty far, and then this one I shoot even farther, right? So without these, I'm stuck with plain old sights, just like on our nines, on our nines, and they get that shitty ass Beretta. Hopefully they roll out the new SIG that they're giving to the Army. But now I have, this is my personal concealed carry gun right here. I have a red dot sight on this bitch, and I can shoot it with my left hand, just go with the right. I can, wherever this red dot's at, it's fucking hitting. Now, if you limit how many bullets I can have in my gun per magazine, I have to reload, and some people take 5 seconds to reload. Really not good. But that if they're still shooting at you, you're gonna lose every time. You're gonna lose every time. The criminal, one who's got a gun out already, is gonna win every time. I deserve to defend myself, and so do you. And so does your cousins and your family, and so does my neighbor. Even if they voted for Joe Biden or Trump, everybody deserves to defend themselves. But that was a serious fucking wake up call, dude. The shots start flying, and I was like, fuck. Here I am again. I'm not 16 this time, and my wife could be my best friend who died. Fuck. I don't want that. So I have guns, and the government can come take them if you want. Good luck, bitch. We are Americans. I'm more than anything, I'm a fucking black man in America. I know what the fuck it is. I'm not gonna let no Joe Schmo come over here down on my block, say, "Hey nigger, get out, we're gonna hang you tonight." Good luck, bitch. You're getting blasted. Everybody in the black community should arm themselves, and we should, you know what we should tell? We should tell those little hoodlums down the way, hey, don't come around here shooting your fucking guns. You're gonna get knocked off. Your block's getting knocked off.
Yeah.
You come fuck around with guns and do your hood shit around my kids. Yeah, you're getting killed, big dog. Yeah. Try it. This is my community. This is not my hood. This is my neighborhood. This is my family that lives here. Don't send no shots down the block and kill my daughter like it happens regularly in other areas. In my city, I don't have that problem though, because we got a good police force and we got gun owners all up and down my street. So, kind of switching gears a little bit. You talked about money being tight when you were a child. You want to give me a little bit of insight so I can understand you more about how was it tight? Were you poor as shit? What was it like?
So I don't want to say poor, but just as I got older, I started to realize how bad it was.
Okay.
Because then I thought my mom was just being my mom. Like, you know, everybody makes jokes about it, but like, can we stop at McDonald's? No. Or like, you know, or she'd make jokes, you know, like, technically I only have to feed you 1 meal a day, stuff like that by law. Even though she was joking and she did feed me like 3 meals a day,
like
but
100
like
meals a day. Look how tall you
yeah,
are.
but like like that's like real shit. There's actual kids who dead ass get 1 meal a day and like struggle. So for me to sit here and say like I'm poor, I don't feel like that's really fair. But like as far as like my
but for your life,
yeah,
your money,
yeah,
with all that pulled back, all the layers of society pulled back, your situation, did it feel poor in hindsight?
I don't think it felt poor because of just the self-image all of us had. I just realized like it's just a little different. As I got older, it was kind of a little bit more harder because I was more aware. But as a kid, just like I posted something on Facebook, I was playing ball with no haircut, running shoes, like some weird pants, and like a oversized T-shirt. It's like, people look at me and they're like, yeah, that kid's poor, but it's,
So
we had enough.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So you had enough to get by, but in your community's eyes, you were a little bit downtrodden.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because,
I
I went to school with kids who were pulling up in brand new Mustangs and stuff like this. Like, I had to work and literally buy my own car and like get my own car fixed. Granted, it busted down before I went and joined, but just like stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, that happens.
Yeah. Yeah. So I wouldn't say necessarily poor, but money was like, it just wasn't thrown around like that. Like, she always kept a roof over our head and we always had food, and like that's all we needed. Like, we didn't really celebrate Christmas like all crazy, like how everybody goes. Like, my mom got me a cross for Christmas, I still got it, like stuff like that. Like, it got to the point where I was like, I'm not gonna ask my mom for stuff for Christmas. I'm just gonna, harp on, spending time with her and stuff like that, because she's always working. So yeah, just yeah.
that really, honestly, man, makes me really emotional. Because I feel so privileged.
Yeah.
And ungrateful.
Yeah, trust me, I get it too.
just blown away. Yeah. I feel so blown away. Oh man, so you still have this cross.
Yes.
That's horribly humbling for me to hear, and for someone else to hear this and be like, "Holy shit!" That when you value your mom so much, but that sometimes I get speechless. It really smacks me in the face in a way I didn't expect it to, because a lot of people I know, they say that they didn't have a lot. They are idiots. They're probably just full of shit. I've had times where I was poor, and what did I do? I went and sold drugs to make money, and it's not a positive thing, but I had it, so I never have had to struggle like that. I think about Christmas growing up as a child and wanting so much. Like, I want this, want this, and my mom would do anything. She worked 3 jobs to get it done, and my stepdad would be in the Air Force or at Boeing doing it and trying to get the money. And I feel so privileged and overly privileged, and it's so humbling to hear something like that, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't say you're privileged though. It's just
no privilege. Like, I had the privilege of the experience.
Okay.
Like, it was great.
Yeah,
it was great, and I thought it was good, but it was great, and it slapped me. It spanked. I've been spanked by life, and I kind of reevaluated myself. Saying,
yeah, no, I've definitely had my times though. Like I could sometimes I forget where I came from, especially like being in the military and stuff like that. Like spending so much money on fast food and stuff like that. So I can definitely feel where you're coming from on the like wake up call, because like whenever I go home it's like a gut check every time, and then that's when I get back into my habits of like, why would I spend $20 on something that's gonna last 2 seconds when I could spend $20 on a meal prep that could last me 3 or 4 days until I get to where I want to be in life, because I know this is only temporary.
Absolutely, man. Are you like the? I don't want to get too much in here. It's too private. Just
hey man, ask me anything.
Are you like the breadwinner? When you come home, do you buy everybody a bunch of presents and like go crazy for Christmas now? Do you reciprocate that love that your mom had for you? In a financial way. That's what I should say.
I feel like I'm going to be the breadwinner, but I know that I'm not exactly where I want to be personally. Mm-hmm. So I'm not stupid when I go home, but when I go home, like every time I try to take my mom out to dinner or something like that, like my mom and my sisters, and just pay for everything, fill my mom's gas tank up whenever I use her car when I'm home, just buy her some random, so nothing like crazy. Like I'm not coming home buying her a Rolls Royce. Okay. Thanks, Mom. Nah, but
I don't think I'd ever buy my mom a Rolls Royce. She'd probably speed and crash. I might get her if I
a minivan.
Maybe a test or a truck. I just get her a truck. Yeah, she wants a truck so bad.
Yeah. So I say I try and do my best, but to a certain extent, I try not to do too much, because like even when I do hit that level that I see myself at, like I'm going to teach them like how to fix some of the habits that they passed on to me that I'm working on. I'm gonna teach them like, hey, this is what you did when I was younger. This is how we can do it better. And then, if you want to go out and start your own thing, then I'll fund it, stuff like that. But I don't want to just give it to them and just like leave them handicapped as well. Kind of like how we have like unemployment and stuff like that. Like, I don't want to take that same mindset.
I think unemployment is, I don't want to get started.
Yeah.
Some people are like, oh yeah, man, I'll go back to work. Why? Why? Kidding me? I just stay home. I'll just put it in crypto. And I'm like, at least you're doing that.
Yeah, facts.
All out, big dog. Yeah. I know COVID-19 was pretty tough for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I lost family members. I lost a lot of friends in suicide.
Yeah.
And that was probably like the biggest impact I've had. But my mom's boyfriend died.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Fucking horrible.
Yeah.
But I want to like, in the future, my goals are huge. Huge. I have huge goals. So I have 6 forms of income right now. And I'm actively making them. Some of the forms are not very big forms.
Yeah.
Like I was fucking around with you about this podcast.
Yeah.
Like I have a lot of big goals, and I'm putting them all into play. I plan on. Right now, I make 6 figures. I want to make 7.
Yeah.
Really bad.
Yeah.
So how do I do that? I uplift my team, because this is not just me. I have my wife. I have my wife's little brothers. I have her mom. I have my mom. I have my sister. I have members of my family that I have to help bring up with me. So I bother them and badger them as much as I can about ideas and things that I get involved with stocks, with cryptocurrency, with ways to make money by not doing shit.
Yeah.
So why not? Why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah.
So do you have? Can you just run me down kind of without if you're comfortable with it, of course, your plan of attack for your future? You have how many years left to get out of the Navy?
About 2 years.
Okay, so you got 2 years left. You're 20 years old. What's your plan of attack for the world?
So right now, what I did wrong was try to do too many things at once.
Okay.
So right now, my focus is building one stream of income. And right now I'm running like we've talked about it, I'm running a network marketing business. Absolutely. And building that, because
it's effective too. It is very effective when done right.
Yeah. Because with that, like I have the opportunity to just deal with people, network, build my skill sets of people. And then also I'm building a revenue that if I build it to a certain level, I never have to touch with it, boggle with it again. If I want to step away from it, I'm good. So I'm just building that out to set my foundation. And then, of course, I'll branch out like all the rich white people do what they learn in school. You know, I'll branch out and go into real estate, go into stocks. And like one of the biggest things I really want to do is like design commercial real estate and like just throw the money at it to make it like pop in pretty much like hotels, big buildings, stuff like that, that I know that people are constantly going to be rolling in and out of. So that's like my my number one, and then my
there's
number
one
two.
weird guy I know
Yeah.
named Donald Trump who did the same thing.
Oh, did he
So,
really?
yeah,
Yeah.
what, no, I'm saying he hotels.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah.
You build hotels, that money is not going away anytime soon.
Yeah,
dog.
no.
They're a cash cow.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So you had too many eggs in too many baskets, and now you put a few eggs into the basket of networking.
Yes.
A networking company.
Yes.
And I've shared with my
Mhm.
experience with the people that do that. What do you think are the are you working on being better? Are you happy with your progress so far and working on being better, or are you just pissed about your progress so far? Would you say on the scale? Like, where
Oh
would you be?
man, so this is like a weird question to answer because it's like two sides of it. One, finding like my faith and stuff like that. Like I've taken all of that pressure and burdens off of myself and
That's
like
good.
giving it. So like looking back, like I bitch at myself and stuff like that. But like where I am now compared to where I was at like a year ago, it's like whew. But on the other end, I'm very competitive, and I know that I could have done this that day, and it haunts me. Like it haunts me not to, like not talking to that extra person because I'm just nervous, like flat out, like I don't want to talk to this person.
Dude, being
like
nervous is a killer for those businesses.
Yes,
Dude, I remember I always deal with. I've never met
Mhm.
anybody who's not nervous talking to people other than me. I'll talk to. I love to it.
Mhm.
I would. A lot of people think I'm like naturally good at speaking to people.
Yeah.
I was so terrified that my teacher always made me read aloud and stuff like this. I had the best teachers
That's
growing
awesome,
up.
though.
They forced
Yeah.
me to publicly speak.
Yeah.
We had to do a presentation. I probably did in 1 year. I would do at least 8 PowerPoint presentations that I put together,
Yeah.
more than 80 slides each, and I'd do them with 80 slides. Everyone else would have like 5 slides, and I'd be like, and I get A's, and they'd all get D's.
Yeah.
But I was forced to read publicly speak, and talk to people, and they'd also teach us how to interact with people.
Yeah.
And also, the best thing I've ever done is take a look at psychology, how people's minds function. When you, if I stop this right now and say, "Hey, fuck yourself," you're gonna have an adverse reaction.
Yeah.
So if I understand that, if I break that down, or if I speak to you nicer, I'm going to have a nicer reaction, a more controlled reaction.
Yeah.
So I learned how to control people, not like with a sense of like brainwash or whatever, but to control the conversation.
Yeah.
I can control the energy in a room, and I play this game all the time. It's my favorite game. It's called Eddie's Social Experiment. I walk into any situation, I listen for a couple seconds, and I start speaking, and I direct all the attention to me, and I can make people like smile, laugh, whatever. And then when I leave, next time I run into this person, they're gonna remember me. I have so many people randomly recognize me on the street, and I
go through it too.
Sometimes I'll be honest, I forget some of who they are,
Yeah.
but I know who they are, their face.
Yeah.
And it's really great to have an impact on people. Do you think that there's like a correlation of any sort between your, like as a child, like are some people like naturally gifted talking to people? Have you ever experienced that? Because I have not. I was so fucking uncomfortable.
I think people are more. I would say yeah. I think there's I call them like my surfer guys, the dudes who just go with the flow, like they're just enjoying life. Like you sitting there, you look at them like that person's probably on drugs, but like they literally just enjoy life. So I believe, yeah, in a sense, there are some people who are just naturally good at talking to people, but as far as the majority of us, like for me, both my parents are from the city and not the best cities to come from, so they're both quiet. Like I talk the most out of all of my siblings. Like type.
I'm glad you do.
Yeah, we'll like to the. I used to have. I get my times when I'm just quiet too, but like if I just ride with my mom and I don't talk, bro, we could be on a 45-minute like drive. She might say one thing, I might say one thing, but that's it. Like with my dad, unless I get him going, like, so I'd say like the majority of us, yeah, that's something we really have to work on. But
yeah, I can't have people that are quiet. I have to talk to them.
yeah,
They know the most in life. They're the best lesson learners. Obviously, your parents did a lot of things that impacted you in a positive way. You're 20 years old, and I don't mean to sound like I'm talking in a down way to you or about anybody when I say that I have a difficult time talking to younger people because they're so hyper.
Yeah.
Their mind is so hyper, and they have a very very unique inability to be attentive and understand the repercussions of things or the reward of things.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to sit and talk to people who are younger than me. I have a podcast I did like a couple weeks ago, and I'm not going to put it up at all because I just wanted I actively wanted to hit this kid in the face because he was saying some ridiculous shit.
Yeah.
It was like borderline racist, like judging people based off their race and categorizing them and talking about it like, well, white motherfuckers do this, blah blah, and I'm like, my ankle started shaking and I knew I was gonna get mad, but I didn't put it up because I don't. He was not attentive and he wasn't thinking through. So someone at your age of 20, is thinking things through. You're already in the military. You're already looking past the military. You understand that it's not something you want to do, and you're making a plan. That is nothing short of remarkable, and it's great to see. It really is.
I appreciate that.
When do you anticipate quitting your job? Or not working a 9 to 5, basically.
Oh man.
If you stay on track and keep getting better, exponentially, of course.
The goal I had walking in was I don't want to work past 29. Very realistic, but it's like at this point, as soon as possible, man. Like, and life is too short, and I also realize like the impact that I could make at 21 years old. You know, say I'm making 400,000 a year, on track to making $1 million, on track to making 10 million. They see me at 21 years old, and then I'm like pushing a Honda, you know, still dressing like this, you know, it looks presentable, but nothing on me is like worth more than $20. So me stepping into that role and hitting a certain point and like not blowing it, not running through women like crazy, being able to be a respectable role model, because I understand that whether you like it or not, the responsibility that comes with that amount of attention and power or whatever, I feel like I can have not only a greater impact on people who are older, even though that they always feel like they have to teach me something, I can show them that like I'm on my shit too, like dog, like it doesn't matter, like experience.
The young bulls always run faster than the old ones.
Yeah,
and people who think they know everything are the people who don't know shit.
Yeah, and they're the reason why half the stuff that is broken because you know you don't want to fix anything. You just want to blame it on everyone else because you think you know better.
What's your generation name? Generation X or Z? I don't know. I think
I'm a
millennial. But people talk shit about millennials all the time. We are literally. Were raised by people who shouldn't have had kids at all.
Yeah,
And their parents were mostly fucking racist.
Yeah.
So what the fuck do you expect us to be like? And then they had the courage, the nerve to talk to, like, listen, you young people, you millennials, are you this stuck in your ways? This is why you don't know how to work anything but a flip phone.
Like, dude, so like on a serious note, like I was talking to someone about like everything that I'm working on, and he was like, "Oh, you're one of those younger cats." Like I was telling him, like, you know, I want to replace my income. I want to take care of my mom, and then I don't want to work anymore. I just want to eat food in different places around the world and just enjoy my life. And he was like, "Oh, you're one of those younger cats who's afraid to work." Like,
you know what? People like that. Do you like being a broke bitch?
That's
do
what
you
I'm
like?
saying.
Do you like the government raising taxes and you being mad about it, and then you're mad that someone wants to make more money? You have lost your mind.
The guy had to be at least 50 still working.
I don't want to. I
Yeah.
want the career field I'm in right
Yeah.
now. I do want to do it
Mhm.
as a baseline.
Yeah.
But I have a plan to make more money. I do not want my kids to have to be like, oh fuck, well what am I gonna do? I want to pay my kids an allowance. I want them to have a job
Yeah.
since they're born.
Mhm.
I don't want to be like, oh fuck, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Honey, I had to take 2 weeks off because someone came to work for COVID, and now all my shit got pushed to the left. Like I don't want that. Having finances and everything going on is so important.
Yeah.
And being able to understand financial literacy is exceptionally important.
Yeah.
So, are you thinking about getting in a cryptocurrency or stock soon?
You know, I don't. It's kind of like I'm really harping on like being single-minded, but then again, it's like I don't want to miss this train again because
There's a lot of trains
yeah.
that are having the tracks built right now,
Yeah.
right in front of you. And they're
Yeah.
gonna keep growing.
Yeah, so I don't want to miss the train necessarily, but then again, like with my budget and everything, like I am like harped on just investing in my business right now. But I can't sit here and say no.
Oh, honestly, I'd like to invest
Yeah.
in your business.
Yeah.
If you came and talked to me about it, I definitely you're somebody. You know what if I've known you from just Facebook.
Yeah.
I can understand where your mind's headed, and it doesn't take a superstar to realize potential for greatness.
I appreciate that.
You're not a slot machine where I have to put in money like, oh, I'm probably gonna lose this. You're somebody
Yeah.
that I can bet on and invest in. And I think that people should invest in people that are smarter than them.
Yeah.
And it's just that simple, man. You have it. You have it. You've figured it the fuck out. You don't look at people for anything more than that they are. And it's perfectly well rounded, and you're gonna be great because of it. But you're already great. That. You're just gonna be greater. You're making America greater right now, actively. This is how you fix America, guys. Donald Trump, take notes. But yeah, man, I think what you're doing is great. I do definitely recommend you taking a look, and I can hook you up with guys that are a lot smarter than me about it.
Yeah.
About stocks. You know, the stock market is so volatile. It's so fucking shaky because cryptocurrency is so strong.
Yeah.
So
it is.
It's strong enough to make the government freak out, and they're freaking out right now.
Oh yeah, they are. So I wish to answer. I wish because I freaking called it when the banks released made it law that they could deal cryptocurrency. I was like, this thing is about to blow up, and I just didn't jump on it, bro. Yeah, yeah, it's ridiculous, but yeah.
Yeah, bro, dude, I would love to help you get started, man. Me and Rhiannon started off with like $20 here and there, and then sometimes we do 100.
Yeah,
it depends because life is pretty shaky. Our lives are pretty uncontrolled right now. We have a lot of moving parts in our lives, and our families are broken, and we're trying to pick up the pieces as a unit. It's really difficult to tell you should invest a certain amount or a percentage.
Yeah,
but I can after this. I'm not going to do it on here, but after this, I can sit down with you and go over what I would invest, what's a potential safe risk. But basically, if anybody's listening, the basic flat line of investing, you take a look at something, a bottle of alcohol, fucking half gallon is what, $40, like Jim Beam, $40, right? You can get a bottle of Smirnoff for like 30, whatever your alcohol is. You take the alcohol bottle and you say, where could I put this better? And you say, I'm not going to drink this weekend or tomorrow. If you're a day drinker, I'm going to not drink tomorrow. And I'm going to take this $30 and I'm going to go into Robinhood or fucking Webull or Cash, or any of the apps, and I'm going to put it in something that had the potential to do great. And I'm going to put it there. And I'm going to watch as the next time I open my phone, my money is up 400% because it's cryptocurrency and not the stupid ass stock market. Man, I've probably lost, no bullshit, I probably lost about $1,000 in the stock market so far. And I said, fuck that. Yeah. Done with it. We're going to the moon with Dogecoin and everything else. But when you jump into these cryptos, it is literally hilarious how much money you can make depending on the risk. As long as you weigh the risk and the reward and you make a bet based off the statistics and the factual data that's happening in front of your eyes because you have access to it 24/7. Cryptos don't close. The stock market closes the next day. It could open and your money could be gone.
God, man.
Yeah. People kill themselves over this shit. People, Wolf Wall Street, all these things that are going on brought a lot of attention to stocks, and Crypto is the way.
Yeah. No, I was in the stock market for a little bit, and then I just realized like very few select people, like granted if they did, like very few select people like make it off of stocks unless they went all out 100% into it because of how shaky it is. Like we have people like granted he's amazing, like people like Tim Sykes, like going here and telling people like you can do this with $5 and stuff like that. But he started out with like what 13, 10K, and it's like it's a lot more shakier than what people believe because that's just what they're hearing,
So
bro.
dude, people put money in Tesla and it dipped, and they were like, "Ah, fuck, I'm done." Blah,
They don't know
blah.
what they're doing. Yeah.
You buy in the dip, you sell when it's high with the stock market. With crypto, you buy in the dip and you watch your money quadruple, and then you want to pull some out and buy your mom a house. Do it. I got to witness firsthand Dogecoin go from less than a cent all the way up, and I got to watch people's reaction. I come home jumping. I'm like, honey, we got to get into this stock. This is crazy. This is money. And my buddy Bill made $80,000 off of 5 today, and I'm gonna get in it. And she's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And so, but we took the time to do it, and it's paid off. My last trip to Vegas was paid off with Dogecoin, so I was pretty excited about that. And it can help you out. All it takes is 5 days to come out of your account, but it's worth it to have other forms of income. If you are set in your ways that you only want a 9 to 5, and you think that you're going to have a great retirement with somebody in office like Joe Biden, good fucking luck. If a lot of people right now with the way things are going, they'd be smart to pull out all their money from their retirement funds and put it somewhere else where you can control it, because the government controlling your life is not fun.
I had a chief who he couldn't retire because all of his retirement he saved. Not too many people know that our retirement is based off the stock market.
Dude, the military retirement is fucked.
Yeah.
That's not how our veterans should be treated.
Yeah. So when the stock market went down, his income that he had been saving for like 19 years went down too. So he re-enlisted.
Another 4 years.
Yeah. So
how the people commit suicide over that?
Yeah, bro. Because you
miss birthdays, weddings,
your son's first
children.
Steps. Yeah.
Your son's first steps. Some people have, the worst thing ever happened to them. Somebody cheats on them back home, and they're deployed, and they find out over an email that somebody's banging your wife or your husband, or a lot of bad things happen, and you can't trust anything in the military.
Yeah.
So your plan is to get out and you're keeping investing in your networking business, correct? I think that's great. Never ever give up. Be more relenting, be unrelentless with your money, because money runs world. People are like, oh, money doesn't rule the world. Yes, it does. Yeah. Stupid. Yeah. You're stupid. Yeah. You have to have the money, and stocks are a good way to do it. Cryptocurrency is a great way to do it. A great way to do it. Yeah. But also being smart and investing in your future before you get there, like you're doing now. You're spending your weekend talking to me about your life and your plans, and you work hard, dude.
I appreciate that.
You're gonna get it. I'm absolutely sure of it.
Yeah, and like the thing with money, especially people who grew up in Christian households, what do you hear? Money is the root of all evil, even though that's completely false. And like me,
well, then why do we give it to the church?
Yeah, exactly.
Crickets.
Yeah, smack that bowl coming around.
They said this, and I said, so I stood up in church one day. I said, Pastor, then why do we put it in the bin? And I got my ass whipped, bro. But I asked it, and everyone was like,
you give me my 5 back.
Give me my 5 back. You slime motherfucker. Well, everyone got bills, but churches aren't taxed. There's a lot of money that can be made through religion. I know a lot of situations. I'm not an expert on it, but I've skimmed over a lot of different instances where the churches have been horrible. Yeah, I think the biggest struggle I've had is with the black community is we preach religion so much more than financial literacy. And you said financial literacy to me the other day, and I was like, I've read this word somewhere. Now I remember the post. We preach, we harp on children by going to church and all these things. We never teach them about how to stop a criminal from doing something bad to you, as far as guns, right? Yeah. So I have a church of guns in my house. We don't do financial literacy. So Tanner, her brother, just turned 18. We already got him set up to get into cryptocurrency.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and like Lil Jackson, we're already teaching him. We're for all his
Mhm.
miles he does with fitness, we give him money.
Mm-hmm.
We're teaching him that there's rewards when you put in work.
Yeah.
It's hard
Yeah.
to run 10 miles as a 9-year-old.
Yeah. I
It's
can't
hard.
even do that right now.
I can't
Man.
even do that right now.
He got that.
But you know,
Yeah.
he's doing it, and we're
Yeah.
showing him that he can be great. When you put your mind to it,
Mhm.
and you suffer just a little bit of suffering
Yeah.
will pay off.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you're doing your suffering right now. Yeah, man, I think it's really great what you're doing.
I appreciate that. And dang, I lost my train of thought. But like with that, like people say that like money will change me. Just they're all excuses, but money will change me and stuff like that. And like me getting around successful people and seeing the stuff like that they do, I realized how small the group of people who get a lot of money and do fucked up shit with it.
Mhm.
Like it is a very small community, and like I just realized that money is actually nothing more than a piece of paper, and it gives people the authority to show their true colors.
Absolutely. I think that something that people said that ties right into that is, oh yeah, rich people are assholes. And I said, you know what? Broke people are broke people.
Yeah, like,
you know what? I don't see any rich people robbing stores last time I checked. So
yeah, that's pretty.
Money is not the root of all evil. You know, the root of all evil is evil is something that is a part of you.
Yeah.
We all have evil in us. I've acted upon my evils many a time, and I work in every day to right those wrongs via my community, via the children in my life. I don't understand how people can look at money as a bad thing.
Yeah.
If you have it, you don't need it.
Yeah.
Like a gun. Oh fuck! Look at that correlation. Yeah. But yeah, I just don't get it. I do not get it. Like I don't know how I'm gonna make ends meet. Yeah. People complain about Facebook. Oh, my water bill was high this month. You really want these stresses in your lives? There are people laying in hospital beds begging God that they never prayed to for another chance of life. Why the hell are we okay with being broke? Live your life. Make money. Be great.
And as a Christian, especially, I feel like that's your responsibility.
Yes.
Because I look at it like people, like I had a really bad experience. Like here, just recently, I went to a church, and like I feel like I was in a cult. And like this is reasons why I didn't go to church before. Like me and my mom growing up, like she's really like she had a really close relationship with God, but like we stepped away from going to church because we realized that like the value in it is not lost. Church is literally a social club now. Mm-hmm. We'll see you on Sunday, even though people aren't like living their lives the way that they're saying.
Yeah,
like,
it's just a soul cleansing session.
Yeah, bro, and like
that's why I haven't gone to church in
years. Yeah, but people just don't realize that the church is not like the building that you go through, the anointing water that you get sprayed on your forehead or whatever. It is getting together with a group of people and bringing more people in, like the group of people who are just like honestly just trying to better themselves, be better people, just working on one sin at a time. Because if I wasn't saved, and just to look at it how they look at it, like the people who were like, oh, you're condemned, like they told me that like cigarettes were a sin. That's just not even in the Bible. You're sitting here telling me cigarettes are a sin.
You know what's a sin? Mixing your clothes, getting tattoos. What else is a sin? Being gay. And a lot of things are sins in the Bible. And if we take a look at a book that was written so long ago, in the past 4 years, what's changed? Donald Trump went from being a great person that people look up to being a horrible person, based off of how untactful he is, and how the media portrays him. Everything is volatile, is subject to change. Everything is subject to change. So I think that book and its interpretation is subject to change as well. There's one thing that will not change, and that's the relationship everybody has individually with God. I can if you describe God to me, I can describe him completely differently. Probably, if we try at the same time, we'll fuck it up. And that's what makes it religious. Religion and your faith and your beliefs are yours to hold true to you, and you can't allow someone else to sway. I screamed at a church and I left last time I went because they were saying that all gay people need to be killed because they're going to go to hell. I fucking freaked out. I was like,
I'm glad you did. And like that's the thing, like I know who my God is, but I don't know. Like you don't know. Like you can't sit here and tell me like this is how it's supposed to be, because how? Like my favorite question ever is why. It drives me nuts. Okay, I'm drinking quote unquote Coca-Cola right now.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it Coca-Cola? Someone named it that. Okay, well, what makes it Coca-Cola?
Because they used to have Coke.
Yeah, I mean it's a soda. Okay, why is it a soda? The carbonation. Okay, why is there carbonation? I don't fucking know. Like, just drink the drink. But like, when you sit there and ask these questions, like, you realize that you don't have any of the answers that you think you did. So when like I almost hate calling myself a Christian because of the religious aspect that's tied rule book, this and that.
You call yourself a God-fearing man.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just pursuing a relationship with my God, and I've accepted that like I I'm like not privileged to be like I am privileged to be here. Like it's I could be burning right now. I didn't have to come here. Like I could be stuck somewhere else. I could have been born a freaking flower for all for all God's sake. But like I just accept that like I'm here for a reason and I'm pursuing that relationship with him.
It's also good. If you don't, I always tell people, they say, "Oh, I don't go to church. I don't believe in God."
Yeah.
I say, "Okay, well, what do you believe in? Do you believe in yourself?
Yeah.
Believe in something.
Yeah.
Faith is everything. Hope is a coward. Hope. Well, I hope I have a good day. Shut up. Go
Yeah.
make yourself have a good
Yeah.
day. You sound weak."
Yeah.
And I don't like to say things like that, but I say them so often because it's true.
Yeah.
When my wife says, "Say goodbye, honey," in the morning, I'm leaving at like 4:45. She's like, "Give me a kiss." I say, "I'm going to work. I'll love you. I'll see you later." She said, "All right, honey, have a good day." I don't say, "Yeah, I hope."
Yeah. Like what?
Oh yeah, I hope. No, faith. I have faith now
Yeah.
in myself. I'm going to create a good day.
Yeah.
And if somebody tries to make my day bad or harm me, you know what? I have faith in my gun and I have faith in me. So
yeah.
hope is for the weak, man.
Yeah.
You gotta have faith.
Yeah.
You gotta have faith or accept the reality that it's a bad situation and do something about it.
Yeah.
Doing something is huge.
Yeah, man. That's spot on.
Fuck yeah, dude. So your future is looking bright. Absolutely, it definitely is. Is there anything else you want to chit chat about, man?
Oh man.
Anything
Got
you
any more
want to know?
questions?
Because I tell a lot of people things.
I guess I could ask you something about you.
Yeah, dude. I'd love to open up.
When you were my age, what held you back personally, and what do you feel like holds people our age back from pursuing things earlier and becoming successful earlier?
I think everything honestly stems from parents, man.
Mm-hmm.
Your parents and your upbringing, your community. You talk about years 1 to 7. Everybody else misses years like 7.5 to 13, which is when you learn about your different parts of your brain are starting to form. So I'm gonna write this down. I'm gonna recommend for you to look it up later, how the brain develops, at what stages does what happens. So you learn to be positive, and you learn like ages 1 to 7, you learn about self-respect, things like that. I really think that at a young age, our parents, if they're going through shit, they should not be exposing it to children. I was exposed to all the bullshit. I was lied to, and I found that out from ages 9 to 13. So I stopped trusting my parents, stopped trusting my family. I stopped having faith in things. And a lot of death, too, throughout my life. I did not have a good relationship with anybody, let alone myself. I was so detached from the person that I was because I was so focused on being what everybody else wanted me to be. And when you do stuff like that, you can't bet on yourself or achieve success trying to be somebody you're not.
Yeah.
Trying to appease the masses. And that's why I dislike Hollywood so much. People spend all their life just trying to make money off of people liking them. I cannot do that in life. I need people to like me because I'm me.
Yeah.
So when I was 20 years old, I didn't have a good relationship with my dad. He died when I was deployed. I said a lot of horrible things to him before that, so I had a lot of guilt about that and shit. I was so lost. I was lost at sea. Lost at sea is how I would describe it. I was a ship out there, just dead in the water, completely confused. I didn't know where to turn.
Yeah.
And I relied on people that were outside of my family. Chief Brontes, Senior Chief Osbury, Lieutenant Atkins, a bunch of people came and saved me from becoming the same lost person that my parents were, and that their parents were, and that their parents. You know, we have to break these things that we're taught as a child. We have to go out and experience the world. You will never ever hear anybody saying, "I'm so glad I stayed in this town my whole life," because it's not true. You cannot. You can't. If you did, I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but cool for you. I need to see more. I need to get better perspective, or I could have been growing up. I could grow up just like somebody I knew to be a racist motherfucker. If my grandma tells me that, if I hear the same thing all the time, I'm never going to get growth. I'm never going to get perspective. Like you talk about getting perspective through life as well.
Yeah.
So me being 20 years old out in the world of the Navy, not knowing which way to turn and learning to how to navigate through life, I really got it. I really figured it out. But not until I was out of the Navy.
Yeah.
I had to find myself. And in the Navy, I found out who I did not want to be. I did not want to be my parents or their parents or anyone in my family. I wanted to be me. And that was what held me back, honestly, man. I think that held back a lot of people. We don't look at the world and say, how do I fit in this thing? There's a lot of things going on here. Do I even want to fit in this thing?
Yeah.
Do I want to hang out with people that are in the trend? Do I want to buy Jordans when they come out? I don't. I'd rather put money in stocks. I do. Do I want to eat like shit and look like shit, or do I want to have a six pack and be able to tear my shirt wherever I want confidently and not feel weird about it? I choose that. You kind of choose. My wife says it all the time. You choose your hard. Well, I could be a depressed, sad, pissed off motherfucker, or I could have a good attitude and try to be better. I could condemn myself to a life of bullshit because I've had some traumatic experiences in my life. I could be horrible. I could use it as an excuse. I could go and shoot and rob people. I don't want to do these things because I don't want. That's hard. Or you know what else is hard? Being great. I want to be great. I don't want to be a fucking low life criminal. I want to keep my house safe. You got to choose your hard, and I figured out that my hard was very easy. You just do it.
Yeah.
So I had to learn that really hard. The hard way to learn to be a great person, you have to put in the work. You're doing it right now, and that's why I recognize it. I recognize it so easily. You're literally sitting in front of me, and I'm like, this motherfucker's gonna do some shit. Do some shit in his life, and if not, I'm gonna be fucking sad because it's not your fault because you're trying. So if life doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But I doubt it because your effort is superior to that. So I really think there is a serious tie between breaking away from your parents. If you spend your whole life around your parents, you're gonna be just like them. Every single one of their flaws, and you're never gonna recognize them until you step away from them.
Yeah.
A lot of people are, I might have some people not happy about me saying that, but it's the fucking truth.
Yeah.
You have to say, I don't want to be like you. I want to be like me. And if you don't, you get what you get.
Yeah.
You get what you get. And I also do not complain when I come home every day. I don't complain. I don't complain when I leave. I'm excited to go to work because I can provide for my family. I'm excited to come home, see my wife. I'm excited to work overtime and slave away inside an escalator or elevator. I'm excited for all of it, and I'm excited to speak to you. I'm excited to speak to other people. I'm excited to go and lift heavy weights and pick them up and put them down again and then eat food and get bigger. I'm excited about all of it. And no one I knew from growing up was excited about life. I've seen enough death to know how special life is, man. And I think the biggest wake-up call was a good friend of mine, Jason Jarman, his wife was dying in a hospital, and I was there to support him, and I called him from work. I'm like, I'm going to be here with him. And I'm never going to forget sitting. It was pre-COVID, so I could do whatever I wanted. I was in the hospital. I looked at him kissing and holding his wife as she took her last breaths, and I had to sit there in the ER, or not the ER, the ICU at the hospital in Seattle, and I was sitting there trying to be there for my friend as he lost everything, and he was just, you could see, he begging God for another chance at this whole life, and wondering why it was her. I never want my wife to have that feeling. I know it sounds ridiculous because it is ridiculous to say, honestly, but I really want everyone to be like, wow, he lived everything. There's nothing left on the table to do. He did it all. He did everything you want to do. I try to live every day of my life like I'm dying tomorrow after seeing that. And this is not to say it was a bad situation. It was a horrible situation. But that was a horribly hard lesson to learn. To see that, I was like, I'm never gonna have any regrets.
Yeah.
I'm gonna right my wrongs and be a better person because I had to be. After seeing that, that was it for me.
Yeah.
And to watch him lose his partner, it really made me reevaluate who I am as a partner in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I think to answer your question and just sum it up real quick, what stopped me from at a younger age? I sold drugs and hurt people for a period of my life, and I thought it was socially acceptable. And the rest of my life, I didn't trust my family, and I left for the Navy, and I was like losing part of my family that I restarted a life with, and so I was just lost.
Mm-hmm.
And I found my guidance, understanding how precious life is through death. So I think it's very similar to people not experiencing traumatic things or not being involved in gun incidents, and then trying to stop gun problems with things that make it worse. It doesn't make sense. So I really want to live my life. That's what it was. I really have to live my life, and I'm living it, dude. Fucking living it up.
Yeah, I respect that.
But that pretty much sums it up, man. I couldn't live life like that anymore.
Yeah, I dealt with like death pretty early on, so I dealt with it weird, and it kind of caught up with me later. So it's like awesome to hear you say that, because one of my counselors, and yes, it's okay to be black and seek counselors.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
It's okay to be black and talk about your problems. But
get help. Yes, everyone needs help. Suicide's never a good thing.
Yeah, and I actually had a guy, the counselor was from Ireland, and they deal with death completely differently. They like pretty much like celebrate it, like kind of how you said, like you don't want your wife to go through that feeling. Like they mourn, whatever, cry about it, and then after the funeral, they go and have a drink.
Yeah, they get blasted.
Yeah, and like appreciate like the life that they had with them. So that's awesome that you said that. Yeah,
I want to be celebrated as well.
Yeah,
I want to be celebrated not for who I am.
Yeah,
because I'm not a self-pompous, egotistical fuck. I want to be celebrated because I lived and I had experiences with real people.
Yeah,
I pulled back the layers, exposed myself, I've cried in front of people, I've yelled in front of, I've fucking hit people in front of people. I don't care. It's I lived in front of people, and I want people to live with me and experience these things too. I want everyone to come. I want to have as much impact now before I die as possible, and it starts with me being a better future father next year. Next fucking year. So I really want to be great, man.
That's awesome.
That's where I started out.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you having me on again,
yes, brother.
Man.
Absolutely, dude. It was one of my it was an absolute pleasure, dude. I'm glad to spend this time with you, man.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. As always, you are so appreciated. So we here at Off the Deep End Podcast want to be a conversation starter. Please go out and talk to somebody about something you heard here. Ask somebody some questions. Share it with a friend. Or tell me I'm fucking wrong about something. If I'm saying something that you think is bullshit, I want you to reach out and let me know. We have a Facebook page, Off the Deep End with Eddie Lowry. And also you can always reach out to me on Facebook at Eddie Lowry or on Instagram at This Is Eddie Lowry. Please do. I'm not an asshole. I like being right. Please let me know if I'm saying something that's wrong or if you disagree with it. Let's talk. Let's figure out together, because I am never 100% right and there's always a different side. So please do not hesitate to reach out. Everybody, thank you so much for listening in, and have a beautiful, beautiful day. I look forward to sharing the next one with you.